All right. You know what time it is. It's Monday night, open court discussion time, live in the counselor's corner. I am your host, David Lorenzo Glover, aka the controversial counselor, and joining me is my dynamic panel and co-host members. Not sure who all will be joining me tonight, but here they are. Herb Lewis, the big bad wolf.
Ow.
That wolf sounding real weak now. It'll sound sick. Willie A. Price speaks the truth.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth. How's everybody tonight?
Christine comes correct all the time. Brooks, the lovable Lakia Perry, Annetta Life Coach Williams, and the youngest in charge, Shaughnessy Williams. Well, they're not on here yet, but the ladies always got to make a grand entrance. Who knows? They're doing their hair up or something. I don't know. Putting on some little makeup, little lipstick, whatever. Oh, we got Shaughnessy about to pop in. All right.
This subject might be a little too touchy for him. I don't know.
Let me put her in and keep rolling with the introductions. Hey, how you doing?
What up?
So,
look, baby, the bunch is here.
And Willie, why are you talking crap already?
Stay focused, folks. Let me get through the introduction, and then y'all can have y'all jabs at each other. So this past Monday, we led off with the topic: she is good enough to sleep with, but not date. So you know how that went down. Lots of perspectives, stories, and opinions were thrown out there. Well, tonight we are coming back with another banger: unwed pregnancies, celebration, or shamed. I might have to take a couple breaks during this one. People out here celebrating unwed pregnancies, and women are having 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kids with no fathers, husbands in the picture. So they're throwing elaborate baby showers and parties celebrating the birth of their children. So we're going to break that down and let you know where we're coming from as far as that. Here's the other 3 essential talking points. Why are you single? And what helps you navigate through dating? Number 3, when your options are limited, you hold very little power. What's your thoughts on that? And 4, are women the only one who truly believe in unconditional love? So we're going to talk about that as well. So tune in, subscribe to the potential Baltimore Media Impact Award-winning channel, The Controversial Counselor. Also, please like and share our video. So we here. What's going on, people? How's everybody? Weekend was going and all that other good stuff. I'm gonna get mine over quick. I don't really got nothing much going on. Nothing that stands out at this moment.
Nothing for me.
Well,
I've been just busy, just running around.
Well,
I'm trying to get everything situated. Looking forward to tonight.
Looking forward to. So you want to argue?
Argue? What you argue about?
I feel like you're coming in
conversation, girl.
So we got a couple people looking for the link.
You got a hair tied up. Why you got your hair tied up, Shanti? Like you come to fight or something?
I just came from work. I came from work.
I
don't want to fight nobody. I promise.
Looks like you come to fight.
Well, welcome back, Shaughnessy. You were missed.
Yes, I've been working. That's all that's been going on. Just me working overnight. The kids want to go to Disney. We got camp to pay for, which is super expensive. I shouldn't have let them go last year. I didn't think they were going to be that interested. So that blew up in my face.
Yeah, those camps and stuff.
What kind of camp is it?
It's an outdoors camp. So basically they're outside all day long, besides when they go inside to the pool. But it's on a lake.
Oh, okay.
So they do archery, they do kayaking, they do rope climbing, they build stuff, team building, and
Nice.
they play in dirt pits, and they do a lot.
That's good.
They
all the
play
stuff
with
they don't do in the city.
Exactly. All this, yeah. And I thought they weren't gonna be too into it. And it's the exact opposite, and it's very expensive, and it's expensive times two. And yeah,
really. Oh, how many weeks is it? How long is it?
It's the whole summer if you'd like.
Oh wow.
So if you want to, it goes by week, but if you want to be involved the whole summer, it's like a first session, second session. I don't know if anybody's familiar with sleepaway camps and what they do at sleepaway camps. It's pretty much the same thing. They just come home every night. And they come tired and dirty every single day. Like, and when I say tired and dirty, the first step is the shower. Like, you can't sit on my couch. You can't, like, I barely want you in my car.
Wow.
Sounds like a muddy football game and players.
Yep.
I actually went to a sleepaway camp when I was a kid, and it was similar to what you were talking about with the archery and canoeing, and it was the best thing
I ever went to. And I think it was somewhere upstate New York. I think it was called Clearpool. Yeah, it is Clearpool.
Yeah, I don't remember where this one was.
Okay. I looked at it,
and it was so funny. What I liked about this one, it was like what you just said, like a camp, whatever the name was. But for that week that the week that we were there, it was called Frederick Douglass Camp.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
it was not only, the things that you were talking about that they were doing, but then they also were talking about Black history. So, I mean, it was really interesting
cool.
it was really interesting to talk about the canoeing and the archery and all those things. We did all that stuff. We're from the city. We're city kids. We didn't know nothing about no archery and canoeing and all that stuff. But to be able to experience that, it was excellent.
Yeah, other than the counselors, none of the other people were our people. The counselors were Black, but that's it. Yeah, literally.
I think that's how it was for us too. Well, like I said, they just changed the name of it for us because they called it Frederick Douglass Camp, but it was like really, it was like we own a camp or something. It was nothing to do with us. So for that week or two, it was Frederick Douglass Camp, and it was all like workers. But the people who ran it were all, Caucasian.
I ain't gonna even speak on my camp experience. That'll be another subject. We're gonna keep it moving. Lakia, how you doing?
I am doing well, but very tired, and I'm hiding in my bedroom.
Lakia, we have the same bed spread.
You like this? Oh yeah, with the flowers and pinkish black. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm hiding because I have a house full and a freaking dog.
Oh, you're really
that I've learned I do not like pets that are not tamed and trained. So I don't know if you can hear him. He's barking. I wanted to open my door and let him out, and just when my daughter come home and ask me where is he, I'm like, I don't know. Because that's how bad he is. He's like an untrained pup, and he's biting my furniture.
How old is he?
Well, they were arguing about this earlier. So 4 months in dog years.
I don't know what that is.
And he's just chewing up everything. So I'm exhausted. I had a very fun-filled weekend. My son got engaged, so I'm a mother-in-law. Mother-in-love.
Congrats.
To be, I guess,
So let me play devil's advocate, and I see that going around, mother in love. What if you don't like the other person? What is it, mother in hate?
You have to ask someone who doesn't like their daughter-in-law.
I'm just wondering.
She's like, because actually, I don't think there's ever. who created those words, mother-in-law?
I don't know.
I think mother-in-law versus in mother-in-love is more so just to make it nicer, just so it's
intimate.
Not yeah.
Yeah.
Like formal.
Yeah, so I'm excited. She's a beautiful young lady. My son making grown man moves. I'm extremely proud of him. Yes. And my other son turned 16. And I have family pictures finally done. So I'm excited. So it's been a very, very busy weekend.
Right. Solar. Thanks for joining us. What's good?
Everything. I never miss an episode, even if it's on replay. Y'all funny as heck, but I was sitting here chilling in my bed. Like, you know what? I'm relaxed tonight, no rehearsals. I'm like, I want to just sit in the conversation, see what they grown folks talking about. I ain't that grown yet.
Whatever.
I'm trying not to be, but on my 45th birthday next month at that show, I'm getting grown and sexy. Y'all are invited.
Okay.
Okay.
I want my invite now.
Okay.
It's not many times you get to dress up and look cute.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. So that's what I've been rehearsing and getting ready for. I'm showing up and showing out.
That's right.
And y'all motivating me. So keep on talking that grown folk talk. Lady, I got you. Ladies, I got you.
Okay.
In the studio getting ready after y'all sessions.
Well, I'm gonna kick it off by saying the 2-week time period has come and passed. No contact. So it is officially dead and buried. I'm done with it.
All righty now.
Okay.
Hey, Christine.
Herbie has spoken. Hi, everybody.
Hey, Christina.
Hey, how you doing?
What's going on?
Not a lot. How's everybody tonight?
All right. All right.
No complaints.
Yep. As his captains would say, we on a flat calm tonight.
So we might as well jump into it because I'm sure people, that's what they've
Kick
been
it
waiting
off.
on. Unwed pregnancies. People with, again, 3, 4, 5, 6. They keep 7, keep popping them out. Should they be shamed or should it be celebrated?
I need to read the captions before I jump on these joints next time.
Who would like to start off with this subject matter?
Don't leave.
I think I want to start with a question.
I'd like to start off. I
want to start off with a question. I have one question.
I was the one who suggested. What's the question, Chauncey? Baby girl.
Why is it why is it the number 3 or more? So what happens when you have 2 or less out of wedlock? Does that not mean anything? Why is the number 3 and over? I just want to know. I'm just curious on that one.
It was just part of the question.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was just part of the question.
They picked a random number out their hats. Only 2 of them wearing a hat. Yeah, I'm just saying they picked a random number out their hats. 2 of them wearing a hat. The elephant in the room is you. What you saying, Willie? You starting again? Because I got 5 husbands. You might be one of them.
I was the one that suggested the question. And the reason why is because I was invited to a baby shower for a person, and I was looking at that way, baby showers, and the baby showers that I was invited to, that I've gone to, or even not gone to, it was always just the girl and her girlfriends and family and friends, but never the baby father. Very rarely was the baby's father there. And it made me think about when I was growing up, how when girl got pregnant, they were either sent to another school, which was a school called St. Augustine's in the city of Buffalo. They were sent to St. Augustine or something like that, where they weren't around students because they were considered influencing the students. So they were taken out of schools and put into a school where all pregnant girls went. And so it made me think about that, because back then that's what was done. And now I see people same situation as people pregnant. What they're doing, what I saw was that the father it wasn't being held accountable in a lot of times these situations. And you'll have the grandmother or the father's mother will show up for the event, and she's taking the role of taking care of the child or whatever the case may be. And then the father is let off the hook, and he's off, and next thing you know, he's got another girl pregnant. He's got another girl pregnant. And I've seen that several times, and it made me wonder, why do we why is it all of a sudden now that when you see a young lady pregnant, they're having these celebrations and not be it just puzzled me that you don't see a relationship. You'll see that person, she'll have, like you say, you'll have one. Hold on, but you'll see the person have one, and then then all of a sudden they'll meet another guy, then they'll have another baby with him, and then that one don't work out, then she'll have another baby with another guy, or she may not have a baby. But I'm just saying, it just puzzled me, the fact that I see these elaborate baby showers for these unwed mothers, and it just made me wonder why just a lot of different why isn't the father of that child being held accountable, and why
Willie, can you hear
celebrate it like it is?
I think it's a delay. One of you guys have a delay.
I can hear you.
Okay, I wanted to just chime in. You said so many different aspects of a baby shower that, like,
there's so many different aspects, right?
Right, but when you ask the question, and I don't even know why I'm on here tonight, because I should have read the caption, but one aspect is you're saying, let's go back. I'm a teenage mom, right? I'm old as crap now, and now I got grandkids. But I went to Fulton. I wasn't around in the St. Augustine's days, so I was separated. But I did not stay in Fulton Academy long because I had to get back to my academics over at Da Vinci High School. I was here, okay, right? So let's start out with the fact that sometimes we're talking about people that are here academically. They're probably just at a different school because of their physical. But then you said something like, a lot of what you just said was the fathers missing. Let's leave the fathers out of this if we're talking about women who have multiple children out of wedlock. And I'm going to start off by saying it's an unhealthiness. It's a true unhealthiness. It's a lack of understanding of who that woman is. I know I don't really mean to jump on here tonight. I did, and I wanted to listen. But it's an unhealthy mindset. Many times they may not admit it, but they're in these relationships cycling because they have not accepted the fact of some things that may have happened to them. Sometimes these same young women are in generational curses where, guess what? The welfare check is more, guess what? Yeah, you can go down and get a baby and you could do this. So you said a lot of things that have a lot of different aspects to it. Why do we celebrate baby mamas?
A lot of aspects.
At the rate of, right, at the rate we have to acknowledge that they're still going to need these things. They're going to need these diapers. No, we're not celebrating the singleness of how they have it, but we have to still encourage them that they have to be the mothers. But the sick part is, like you said, the repetitive of it, right? And I was saying earlier, I got 5 husbands and the one I'm with.
They were being the mothers. They were being the mothers back then too. But like I said, I brought it up because, like I said, what I have been seeing and what I remember growing up. And like I said, they celebrated back then, but it's not like what you see today. Like I see people posting these big elaborate baby showers.
So I'm going to chime in
for the girl, and it's like a celebration. And I don't know if that encourages it to,
continue to happen. So here's my thing with the celebration.
Yes, honey.
I myself had a child at 19. I didn't desire to really have a baby shower because I necessarily wasn't proud. However, my family, my father and my grandmother felt it very important to have a baby shower. And when I spoke to them, about not wanting to have or not wanting to necessarily celebrate this, And they were like, things happen. A life is a life, and a blessing is a blessing. Nobody takes care of you. That's the biggest point you're missing. By this time, I was living by myself, had my own car, my own place. Not one of us here take care of you. We can celebrate this baby. And you are going to celebrate this baby, and you're going to be a mother. You're going to be good at it. And it was the encouragement. And just like I think it was Solar said, you're still going to need those gifts, those things. So why not celebrate and be happy with what you have? Also, I think while I think marriage is important, the fact of the matter is we have women that have 4, 5, 6 kids and they're now divorced. So aren't we all sitting in the same place? If we talk about, and I'm not saying that those children were conceived out of without their parents being married, but at the end of the relationship, it's still the end of the relationship. You still have a parent in one home and another parent in another home. What's, I guess, the most important is that these children have both parents. I don't know.
A family that goes through a divorce with children is totally different situation from a single mother that's having 1, 2, 3 child, after another, whatever.
But I don't think you know
plan
that.
or no idea. Well, they do want to have a man in the house, I'm sure, but it's a totally different situation when you say a married person who ends up going through divorce and now they're in the same situation. That's totally different, because that wasn't they went into that situation thinking, all right, I'm this person have some kids and now I'm a leaver.
I can agree with that. You can go into any situation thinking or feeling a certain way, but where you end up is where you end up.
Listen, we got a lot of people. We got a lot of people on the panel.
Marriage as an example, and marriage can't be considered an example of what this conversation is about, because that's a totally different situation.
All right.
So if I meet somebody,
so if I can have a moment, panel. If I can have a moment, we got a lot of people in here, so I want everybody to get a chance to get their feedback.
House full.
Yeah, got a house full. And I think somebody's trying to get in as well. So, and we still gonna have time for to answer some of these questions, and also if we can respond to the people in the chat that they're making some valid points as well. So somebody could take on that.
Yeah, I was reading some. I couldn't
ask as well.
I wanted to chime in, if you don't mind. I'll chime in real quick. As a mother of 6, and 2 were my first 2 born were out of wedlock. I was not married my first 2. My first 2 were separated by, I believe, 10 years, because I was a young mother. Even back then, with my first 2, it was never really celebrated. Like when you're having a child out of wedlock, it's like sin. And most church folks, if you're part of church families, they ain't coming to your baby shower. And so when I had my daughter Janae and my second child, I was in the church, and some women wouldn't come because
they
I had her. I wasn't married. Huh?
I said they asses ain't come get a plate.
The reason why
they wouldn't give a gift because
the reason why they didn't hold up. Look here, let me intercede for a moment. Well, just one moment. You can have the floor back. The reason why they don't is because it would condone sin.
Right. Yeah. And then when I got married,
meanwhile, Pastor sleeping with the congregation, but okay.
Okay. So then when I got married, I had 4 with my husband. So my ex-husband now. Now the same reason why I'm sharing that background is because I remember when I got saved, gave my life to Christ, and started going to church, and it was like this thing where no one really wanted to have a ministry towards single mothers. And I'm like, a lot of us in here are single mothers. It just behooved me how people could judge people for something that they've already indulged in, and something that they've tapped that's happened in their lives.
I just have
and that's the part that just really stirred me the wrong way. And I remember I worked in a hospital. I'm gonna try to make the story short. And a woman that I knew had a child that was one of the daughters of the mothers in my church. And it just pressed on my heart. I wanted to give this child gifts because I'm like, I was like just praying about it, but I wanted to bless this child because I knew, how she was going to be viewed. So this scripture came to me, and I'm sharing this scripture because it's life giving. But what gave me was every good gift and every perfect gift is from above and cometh down from the Father of lights. Any child that comes into this life is God given, regardless of how it came into life. And there's every one of us, and I can speak for myself. I know that, my parents were not in wedlock, and a lot of time people want to put this stigmatism like that child is going to be nothing, or even if I had my son at 16, my child is going to he's going to be some drug addict or drug dealer, or the thought process is the judgments that's put on single parents or women that are having children outside of wedlock. To me, is a little just wrong. I'm gonna be honest with you. For the fact that, in my opinion, for
How
the
you
fact
doing
that
tonight?
these are children, these are babies, and they should be given gifts because they didn't ask to be put in that situation, but they are gifts from God. And so it's not just about the celebration. And if they want to do an updo for it, then that's their money. They worked hard for it. They can spend it however they want to spend it. That's their business. That's my thought on it. And if you choose not to celebrate it, then don't celebrate it. But a child coming in this world is a blessing regardless of however it comes into this life, and it should be treated as such.
We got Officer Charles Faulkner in here. He's new to the show. Welcome, brother. If you got something you want to add,
Woo! How you doing?
how you doing?
See,
You got Annette
fundamentally,
comments. Annette
see,
did show up.
fundamentally, one, this is the issue with the black community. We always incentivize bad behavior, like BGS said. We always want a second chance, but yet the people who get it right the first time usually got to pay the cost. So, when people talk about this gift from God, we're going to have to look at statistics instead of feelings sometimes. We're going to have to look at that. Are we creating families where it's locked down and secured, or are we just looking at people as interchangeable? Because a lot of times in the black community, we look at black men as they're interchangeable.
Black men or black people? Which one did you say?
Right.
Black men.
So what does that have
We
to do with
look at black
okay,
men
so the
as
same way that
interchangeable.
I like you already, but I'm gonna just ask that you correct that, because if we're looking
No,
at
I'm
black
not
men
going to
as
correct it.
interchangeable,
I'm
black
not going
men
to
just
correct it because it's
have
true.
just as many baby mamas
No,
as
number
baby mama
one,
got kids.
we're
Please,
not going to
Right.
talk about
Don't
your
take this.
feelings.
Don't make this a man
Not
thing.
going to
Hold
overtalk
on.
you.
Let
You're
him
not going
finish.
to
Let him
overtalk
I'm
finish.
gonna let them breathe, but you treading
No, you're
dangerous
not
ground
going to
with your
overtalk
comment.
me
If you gonna
because
say
first of all,
statistics, you gotta balance off both. Be a
we're going to
professional
talk
and
some
balance
truth.
off
We're going to
both.
talk some
I'll
validity.
listen.
Get out your feelings.
Oh, that ain't my feelings. It's not. It's
That's
That
your
ain't
actual
feelings.
feelings.
facts.
No,
Statistics
it's
says you
actual
weigh in
facts.
every single
It's
actual
actual
thing. If you're
facts that
talking
black
about black
women,
Solar.
if
people,
they have two
men
or
and
more
women,
kids, that about 70% of them have about two different men.
What?
Explain that.
What?
What happened?
68% of black women who have two or more kids are by two
I missed what
different
he
fathers.
said because him and I was arguing. So only class I heard what he said.
What? But what's the point with that?
In other words, I've noticed this whole thing
That doesn't
about
make them
family.
interchangeable.
So, in other words, can I finish my point?
Sure.
if you got one.
I have
Okay.
one. The fact of the matter, here's this excuse. Well, everybody makes mistakes, and every child's a blessing. Every child's a blessing until people got to take care of that child. Because when men got to go out there, we can't go to the system like women. I'm having trouble taking care of this child.
That's a lie.
No, it isn't.
You can go to
You're
any.
saying if
No,
you're
it
a
isn't.
single father and have
The
custodial custody
system
of
is
that
not
child, you
quick
can't
for
go to
men.
social services?
So wait a minute. How long have you been a man? How long?
That's what I'm trying to ask you.
This would be more productive if one person talk at a time.
How long have you been a man? Because I noticed people. I noticed people with an XY chromosome not speaking. Almost 40 years.
I'll just say this, and I'm not gonna. I don't want to go back and forth about it. I just want to say
in other words,
you brought up.
I can't finish my thought.
You
so
have not one.
Right?
You can't even
do
I
statistics
right if you can't do
because
the whole
here it is, right?
Community.
We want to celebrate
include all.
In the Black community. We want to celebrate mediocrity. We constantly do this.
And I'm not going to disagree with that point. The only issue I have is you can't.
Okay, how you going to disagree with it? Please come with something that actually is disagreeable.
Have you Department of Human Resources, as of 2011, women and men have the same rights. If we go up there together, hold on. If we go up there at the same time, you have 2 kids. I have 2 kids
right now.
You're talking over her.
Exactly. If you go to the Department of Human Resources, no man or woman is treated differently. If you have 2 children, I have 2 children. Our numbers in income are the same. We are going to get the same benefits, the same money. And best believe your kid's mother and my kid's father is going to have the same child support obligation, especially if they have the same income. And I know that for a fact. That's not.
A lie.
It's not. So what's your statistic? Pull up the numbers on it. Pull up the numbers on it.
Many women. Guess who mostly doesn't pay child support? Women.
Overwhelmingly, it's not even close.
Because they have so
it's not. Women don't like it. I can agree with that. No, men don't like the court process.
Guess what?
I can agree with that.
Same process. Explain this to me. How a lot of women for one child can get $1,800 to $1,000, but a man with custody of 3 kids gets about what? $200 to $400 a month.
I can agree with that statement, and I do not agree with the notion of child support at all. However, if a lot of men, especially our Black men, they don't, and I don't blame them again. They don't have the fight for the will to want to keep running back and forth to court the same way a spiteful, bitter woman does. And that's why these women have more benefits and more child support than.
And guess who mostly is in the courthouses working inside of them? Are they in favor of the men?
Wait a minute. We know that's a good question you just posed, because I just had this conversation with someone, and the conversation was went like this. The gentleman said that, it's women that's taking us to court. It's women that is causing us to pay this child support. Okay, but let's just back it up a little bit. Who created the laws? And who is the judge sitting behind the bench? And what gender is the judge sitting behind the bench? But those are white European men and women that are majority of them are the ones that have created the laws and that are sitting behind the bench. So if they didn't care, that's one thing. And then thirdly, if men really cared about child support, then why is it that y'all fought for having more days off when you have a child, just having days off work, instead of fighting to change the
let me ask you this question.
The child support
let me ask you this question, right?
So
let me ask you this question. If a man went to an abortion clinic
that created the laws and are putting the judgment handle down on what you have to pay.
I'm going to say this. First and foremost, I don't give a damn who creates the laws. It's about who utilizes them.
You're going to utilize the law.
What did you just say about it? Hold on. Sis, hold on. I want him to finish his comment, and I want to hear what he said about an abortion clinic.
Stop it.
I want to know what you just said about an abortion clinic, as if you've been in one. You ever opened up and been in one?
He couldn't finish it. He couldn't finish it.
He should.
So here's the point.
Okay, so we're back on
or keeping the woman. What do you think the man would rather have?
I'm sorry. Say that again.
If a man had to pick between the woman or the children, what do you think that man would rather have?
What did you say about the abortion?
The woman.
If he went there and he had to take the women or the children, what do you think he'd rather have? And by the way, I'm going to say something about
all males on that. I think me personally in my situation, my baby daddy would kick me, kill me, and take the children. Always.
Oh, so you're telling me, right, that all these men out here,
I didn't say all in my situation.
All these men out here that are on child support is just. But
no,
yet,
absolutely not. I don't agree with the notion of child support.
We know a lot of the child support is bullshit off the break.
I agree.
But but who created the laws?
And who's using them?
So, but why are you not trying to change that?
Wait,
you act like it's easy to change laws.
Why are you not making to the NAACP? Why are you not going to your legislator? Why are you not going to your senators? Why are you not going to your city council people? Whoever creates.
Officer Faulkner, let me get in here for a moment. Let me get in here for a moment and let me answer Lakeisha's question.
He still ain't said if he got a coochie to open up and talk about.
Hold on. Let me too emotional, whatever, and not letting anybody talk. So I'm gonna have to mute some people.
Let me answer Lakeisha's question. Lakeisha, how difficult is it to get the Constitution amended?
Exactly. That's very, very, very.
That's true. But did you?
Hold on. Just answer the question.
Changing the law.
Lakeisha.
How men can have the same days off of work when the child is born. So if you why don't you fight the fight to change?
See, that's what happens when you have no accountability. Because you want to utilize the damn laws, but then you want to try to basically shame the man. Why can't you change the laws? Why the fuck are you using them?
Officers, I think you have a good point. I think you have a very good point.
Would you really pick? Are you trying to tell me modern women are good pickers of fathers?
What I'm saying, this is the thing.
Don't answer my question.
A female situation of how women vet their men. Because the fact of the matter, the truth is, why are you men are not putting Jimmy hats on, knowing that you have kids at the same age, 2 8-year-olders or 2 15-year-olders by 2 different women, or 2 30-year-olders by 2 different women. Come on now, take accountability and wear Jimmy hat. And stop trying to put it on the woman so much.
The question: are you good pickers of fathers?
Put it on.
Hold on, you can't be a good picker so that you don't have to because you can't gauge at how a man is going to.
But you can definitely gauge on what turns you on, right?
One point
you can't. Here's the lack of accountability again.
One point that he just made was about changing the laws and utilizing the laws. I don't want to make this a man against women or a woman against man thing, but because I hate and despise the notion of child support so much, I look into and I read and I see and I research and I have been privy to a lot of information. The more you take care of and spend time with your child, the less your child support is. So a lot of men get messed up over this joint custody, physical soul, etc., and they don't know that they have advocates. They do not realize that they do have the same tools and same things that women have to help them.
And
so
guess who majority gets?
So when you get brought to court for child support, you can, when you get that letter in the mail, carry your butt down there
and pay an
attorney. Go file. Get your baby for
Let me tell you the slick part about. Let me tell you the slick part about child support. What a lot of women do. They will claim, "Well, I don't know where he lives," and they know damn well where he lives. They will claim and do all kinds of bullshit because I've seen it as a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
And they will actually go and try to make
the arrears. And then they will start
something called rears.
Yeah.
And here's the idiocy of child support. Mm-hmm. You don't even get all the money. The court takes about 45%.
Yeah.
Sure does.
But look, this is what I'm saying.
But hold on for a second, sister. But we're going to go back to this fallacy because even the CDC and the census said black men are the best fathers in America. But yet, we still talk about the what? The 8%?
No,
When
we're not.
I'm not going to debate with you on that.
Discussion was about women.
what about
Just
the
like I said,
54%? What about the 52 to 54% of men that don't have children?
Unfortunately, I wish that black men knew that they had support, they had advocates, and the same power that women have within the court and the justice system, they have as well. They will nowadays they are sweeping these women of their rights. They are, but again, I'm not saying that it's okay that a woman does this.
How
But
much does
if
a
you're
black
in a
man?
position where
How
you
much
can't
does a
see your
black man
baby,
get
your
respected in
baby
a
is
court of
taking
law
both
anyway?
sides. I'm sorry.
How much does a black man get respected in a court of law?
And I understand that.
Let me
I'm
say,
not debating with you.
but let me say
How
something.
many
But that's the
times
truth.
have you
But
seen? How many times have you went to child support and child custody court? Do you see a lot of male advocates or female advocates?
Okay, okay, we hear you with that.
I'm not denying that.
Let me say something real quick, Shaughnessy.
Hold on. I've noticed this. Every time I presented a question, it doesn't get answered. But when you give me a question, I try my best to answer.
I'm about to answer you now.
I said I'm not denying that.
No,
again,
this is the
I
thing.
wish men
With a
knew.
brief answer.
But let me can I jump in, please? This is the thing, sir. She just shared with you that we understand. She made it very clear. She said, we get it. But we hope that men understand that there are people out there that can advocate for them. We said that. But I also brought in a point, if you and that's not being acknowledged. Why is it that it's such a hard deal to deal with? Now, I'm just gonna put this out there. I never got child support. I'm the one that made the most money. So he could have came after me for child support, and we have joint custody. I gave him residency, so all my babies and the one father, I had excused him of even paying child support because he paid to help me take care of that son very well, him and his family. So not everybody's doing that. So we're going to say that too. Every woman is not going after men just trying to take their money for child support, because I wasn't one of them. I was one of those women.
Hold on, but
Okay,
what the women?
Why are you not? Why are you guys?
Hold on. What the women need to realize is this:
to unite.
Can I reply to that real quick? Because
let me finish. I'm gonna answer this question. Why are you guys not taking it? You're making it your business to unite as men and talk and go to the laws and to your senators and your legislators and change the process. If it's
hold on. What the women do not understand is this.
You want me to answer you really?
Please.
You want me to answer you really?
Yes.
Because one, how many women outnumber men? When have women ever given up a benefit that normally benefits them overall?
I did.
So, are you the majority? But I'm glad you said that, because women do not think in totality. You think in individual.
Well, all men don't think the same.
We're discussed in totality.
Is your story something of the norm or the exception?
You know what?
No. Answer the question. Is your story the norm or the exception?
It can be. It can be the norm. But I think
why is the exception? How many times have I? Is it the norm?
Said, and I said we are the exception because we have our kids.
You have a question though.
So there's no desire behind them for child support because they actually.
And then let's get back to what she said. You said you didn't put number 2.
Officer, can I have a moment just to speak? I'm just jumping in. So let's bring the reality to the picture here. The court system is not made for black men, period. Let's just say that, okay? And on top of that, it's governed and designed for white people and women. Regardless of what color it is, when you go to the courts, they're automatically thinking that the woman is taking custody, and they're automatically prepared to go to the male for child support.
Correct.
To be honest, that is just the way it's set up.
Yep.
I have 2 jobs, one at the hospital and one for an organization that helps with foster kids and taking children. That's who their primary focus is. I did not realize it until I got job, that was the primary, how the system is set up. So we're not going to sit here and paint this picture like the system is with the father and they're not. That's not with them. The average male that takes custody of their children is almost 12%. So we're going to be honest here that is not the totality.
But that's not because they lose. They don't fight. They don't lose the fight. They don't fight at all.
That is what it is.
Because
you did not hear that you cannot fight. You cannot fight.
Yes, you can.
You did not. Let me tell you how to. How can you fight if you go to the octagon and your hands tied behind your back?
Charles, let her speak. She'll clear it up, Charles. She'll clear it up, Charles.
Yeah, what you said, Anetta.
Because the court system automatically think of the mother as the nurturing device in the household. So it's not the fact that fathers are not fighting. I'm not going to say that when I'm standing and I'm in the foot of it all. They take the fathers through the ringer to get custody of a child. There are some menus that they put on the father that they don't dare put on the mother.
Well, that's because it's hard to lose custody. I will say that it's hard to lose custody.
It's very hard for a mother to lose custody.
Exactly.
So we cannot be naive or
but
take
to
a blind
share. What I'm saying is to share. If
And
you have an upstanding
it's even hard to do that.
It's harder for a father because if you got a mother who does not have good communication and her device is to hurt the father, she is not going to want or desire to share custody with a man that she has a vengeance attitude toward.
And I agree. We'll take her butt to court.
So we have to remove our emotions out of this.
And that's a large number. That's
but you know, and Anetta,
I gotta say this real quick. I gotta say this real quick, and I'll give you the floor. I'll say this real quick, and I'm gonna give you the floor. I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna give you a story of my boy Josh. You know how we like to throw this Pookie and Ray Ray bullshit around? Josh was a police officer just like me. His brother was a lieutenant. Okay? Josh's daughter's mother, may she rest in peace, even though she's still living. Really? She is the essential definition of what you would call a bitch. It's not because if it's insulting, it's because of her actions. You go ahead and you try to say, well, he's not taking care of his daughter, but his daughter is on his insurance. You constantly try to move around so he cannot find you. You lie to the courts and say he's abusive. And by the way, there's a lot of times you go to the court and the woman could say she's being abused, but you can obviously see the man with scratches. So we're not going to front like that doesn't happen. And women will try to get all these reports and trumped up charges against a man just so she can have an advantage. This woman has not let him see his daughter in 2 years. Lied to the military saying that she couldn't find him and try to go in, which is basically a federal offense, which is he working on. But every time a black man is supposed to fight, where's our help? We don't get it. We don't get it like women. See, women think the world runs the same way for them as it does men. No, it does not. No, it completely does not. And here's the problem with the advocacy. You have a lot of these chicks from welfare reform in these courthouses being magistrates and also people who speak on behalf of the woman. A man going in there is the equivalent of going to the UFC with your hands tied behind your back. Every man knows this.
Okay, not to cut you off, but this is the part where I say yes, we can fight. You can fight, and you haven't fought. And Black, we did listen to him as well, just as respectfully.
How do you know?
What I want to say is this: how many laws are passed every year?
Hold on, Lakia. You know what that comment is like,
Lakia? Voted on every year. How many? Let me finish, please. How many laws in the Supreme Court have changed? How laws have been changed in the Senate? How many laws have been changed in the state? Marijuana is now throughout different states are being passed to be considered legal. So you're telling me, so when women went, let me finish, please. As women fought to have voting rights,
that's for tax.
Y'all never fought. You
like people will put their energy where they have where they want to put their energy. If you have not put your energy in trying to change the child support system, then to me it's not affecting you enough. Because if y'all want marijuana so bad, guess what? Marijuana is now.
You know what?
We want it so bad.
Hold on, Lakia. You know what that's the equivalent of saying, Lakia?
I'm gonna make a reply to her statement.
I'm
gonna make a reply to her statement.
I'm
gonna make a reply to her
statement. I respectfully made it.
Let's just say,
when was the last time? If you put your energy into something other than bashing the women, then guess what? Change it. If you don't like it, put forth your energy to change it.
How can you bash it?
Lakia, you know what that's the equivalent of saying? That's the equivalent of white people saying that black men didn't fight hard enough to keep civil rights for black men.
We did fight.
You know how asinine that statement is?
But did we fight it? Did they get up and fight for civil rights?
What happened with civil rights legislation?
Are they free?
What happened with civil rights legislation? How come affirmative action doesn't benefit black men the way it was designed to?
Segregation is now abolished because we
No. How come affirmative action does not benefit black men the way it was designed to?
We're gonna talk about laws, right?
Well, this is not the whole thing to talk about laws because we know they don't benefit us.
Slavery didn't benefit us, but we fought to be freed.
But how
we still ain't free? We still not free.
We're gonna
go by historical living as slaves.
Let me put it to you this way. Black men fought for the right to be free. Black men fought for the right to vote because they actually literally picked up arms to do it. Women never.
I think what Lakia was trying to say is if that interests you as a group, then they will fight for the change.
And you think
we can't make it seem like they haven't because they have been in the laws. Yes, the laws have been progressing. They're not where they should be. The same as racism, the same as
in other words, we should still silently suffer. Even though we're fighting,
not. No, you should keep fighting. Any child you have,
I don't see the fight.
We fought to make sure, because guess what? You can't be a deadbeat if you constantly fight. How much is that man supposed to fight? Because our last time checked, women don't have to go through that bullshit that men do.
Well, that's not our fault.
But yet,
all the time. We're not white ones. We're not the ones that's in there making the laws.
You don't care because it's not you dying of stress.
Guys. Please. We are on so many media devices.
We're not making the law, right? But we're not making the law.
Lakia, hold on.
But you're using it.
I just want to make this statement, and then
just like your insurance used the law.
Hold up.
Just like you
use it.
I
just want to make this statement, and for us to be able, we are all intelligent on this panel. If everyone is screaming, if everyone is screaming and not, you have a lot of people that want to hear what's going on. But we are not we can't sit here and say we're battling for this, we want to make sure we make right judges, we want to respect this person, respect women, respect men. But we're not respecting each other on the panel just to communicate.
Not even on the panel.
Everyone want to be able to speak and vocally tell and speak with your knowledge, your understanding, your clarity. That's wonderful. But at some point, we should not have to scream on a social device just to get our point across.
Am I loud? I'm sorry. I hope I'm not loud. If I am, I'm gonna turn my thing down.
But even just the interruption when someone else is speaking, it's okay to say, "Excuse me, can I say something for a moment?" Relinquish the floor, because the greatest thing about communication is there's two ways of communication. One person is listening, the other person is talking. If everyone is talking, what are we gaining access to? That's all.
So maybe David, you should do this panel a little better. You call out the people who can talk next.
Oh, now you want to go. First of all,
okay. Let's get back to the topic.
Anybody as an adult will know to let somebody else talk. So what the hell you want me to do? So either you have, it's called self-control. It's called
I
self-control.
put my finger up.
I
put my finger up, but I've been talking and I've been getting cut off.
You've been doing a lot
so
of
it
talking.
goes both ways. It goes both ways.
This is a very emotional subject.
Accountability,
Let's get
boy.
back to where we're supposed to be.
Accountability is like kryptonite.
That's the truth.
Where we're supposed to be. So why are we celebrating these unwed children?
Right. And I think Officer Charles was coming in with that talking about the
why do we celebrate unwed pregnancies?
We celebrate mediocrity.
So what's the so it takes two to make a baby, right? So and this is just I'm just putting this out there.
It takes two to make a baby, you're right, but it takes one to decide if it comes into the world.
But then y'all both decide to, can
I tell you, if you and I lay down, you get pregnant, and I force you or take you to go to the court to get you an abortion? I've noticed every time I answer a question, it's Thailand.
I said, of course not, but you can also sign off.
Don't tell me it takes two to make it. It takes one to say,
understand what I'm saying. I definitely agree with you, but I also agree with the notion of we are all grown and we all make decisions and we know what can happen. If you go out and buy a motorcycle, you know.
Oh, no, you didn't just say that, sir.
You get to make the decision.
And I agree.
You could have made the decision, and he could have made the decision for both.
But
okay, let's change the laws. Are you going to give up your right of my body, my choice?
I mean, me
yes
personally.
Or no. Yes or no?
For me, I'm not having no more kids. I'm not having no more kids at all. So me,
are you going to give up your right of my body, my choice?
We are going to be on the same
page. Ask that question again. Women, we are going to be on the same page.
Right of my body, it's not going to be I'm pregnant. The call is going to be I need a ride. Like we're on the same page. Is it going to be
my body, my choice? Are you going to give that up?
It always has to be. It always has. Get a vasectomy.
Why don't you? What's the point of getting a vasectomy when you can make the decision?
Ooh, so wait a minute.
Abortion be
I'm gonna answer your reason why child support is not going away.
No, we ain't talking about that no more, sweetheart.
You don't want it.
That is totally different.
You don't want it to. So if you want to talk about maximizing mediocrity, and we're going to use this excuse that how can we vet these men? How can we do this? Then guess what? The way you solve it, wait till you get married.
Excuse me. Can I?
Why don't men be just good men?
We are good men. Why can't women just be good women? But if I say that, it's going to be a hot silence in the crowd, right?
No, it's a good point on both sides.
So that statement right there, women are automatically good. Women are automatically these treasured things that Victorian era fucking England told us.
What I said was,
you just said, why can't men be good? Good to who? Good for what?
Why can't men be good fathers? So
we already are.
Therefore, we don't have a problem with a child.
Let me put it to you this way: a good father does what? Protect, provide, problem solve, and create healthy kids.
That's all that they need.
FBI statistics say when you have a single mother, they're 5 times more likely to be abused sexually or physically. Oh my God. So if single fathers have their children and their children are better protected, we're being damn good men, aren't we?
It takes more to be a good man than that.
Then how would you know? How do you know from experience?
Okay, it takes more to be a good father.
How do you know from experience?
Excuse me, officer. I don't want to scream and yell. Can we have a moment? Can I even find out what the question is? Are we even still on topic?
Nope.
I'm telling y'all, it sounds so horrible right now. It just
we're not even on the question.
And I'm going to be honest.
And I don't understand how we got all the way.
We're still talking.
I do understand.
Because we went past the topic moments ago.
Bitter men and bitter women.
We keep trying to get back to it.
That I was just about to say. I tried to get back to it.
Can you tell me what the
celebration
is?
Yeah.
Can you tell me what
so
the question is?
Child support
then
came
we can
into
elaborate
it.
on the question because it sounds like
the question
right now.
The question on the floor is this: why are unwed pregnancies should unwed pregnancies be celebrated or condemned?
Okay, so how do we get in laws and everything else with that question?
Because his point was
that's what I keep asking.
The point that was being made.
We don't went past the celebration all the way to child support court.
Right. So the point that
well, let me ask this question then. In addition,
having kids out of wedlock for child support. That's the point that he's trying to make, which is totally wrong.
In addition to the question that's on the floor, I'm going to ask this. What are the top three celebrations that a woman has in her life?
What is what?
What are the top 3 celebrations that a woman has in her life?
I would say
even that, but
hold on, just one at a time answer.
Listen, Herb. Even that question to me is ridiculous. It still doesn't state the fact of what the question is.
No. If you answer the question, you'll get.
I'm getting on late, and I want to respect you and not overtalk you. Okay. When you talk about celebration or shame, and you talk about a baby, period, a baby is not anything to be ashamed of. If it happens that a child is produced, that's because God allowed it. Okay. Thank you. That's point blank. However, an individual may feel about the pregnancy, that's on them individually. You can't change how an individual feel about a pregnancy, nor a man or a woman. Right. But one thing you cannot say is the child is a mistake or a shame. Because when you start saying that's the depiction that you put on the child, and that's what they have to live with. That's negativity. And that explains why so many people are on this counselor corner, on this panel or whatever, that lives in that negativity, because that's what's been spoken to them.
Right.
What's spoken into your life, it displays in how you behave. Period. There's no way to get out of that.
Okay, so all right, let's take that stance. And let's go back to the 1950s and 1960s when unplanned pregnancies. Hold on. Wait a minute. Because in order to address her comment in its totality, she's saying children are a blessing from God, and black people were highly religious. Why did the religious people take that pregnant woman and ship her behind out of town?
Because
there was a lot of hypocrisy.
Like that, then I would
a lot of hypocrisy.
Hold on, if you ask questions like that, then it would tell me to not have this conversation with you because it's a mute.
I'm asking a question. I've made no statement.
Hold on. It would tell me not to have a conversation with you because you're not a father. You don't have any children. So having this conversation with you would be a very insensitive conversation because you don't rear children or bear any.
But according to what you just said, then no man could, because no man is born a child.
But
and half of the black men in this country don't have children. So are we to be excluded because we haven't produced children? But we pay taxes to take care of those kids?
Wait. Time when we weren't even
you trying to have me go back in 1950? Heck, my mom. Come on, you want my mother to get on the panel? You want my father?
It doesn't matter.
Hey, hold on. Let Christine make a point.
Please, Christine, come on in.
No, my point was just what she's saying. It's not that men don't have a space in this conversation. You absolutely do. She's just saying that the same way that you're going back to before our time as adults or even young adults, even whether we were making mistakes having children or deliberately having children or whatever, you're going back before our time to ask a question that we weren't around to tell about, that we can't tell you firsthand about. Yeah. And with that being said, if you're going to do that, then we should also then exclude you from the conversation because you haven't had children.
That's what she's saying.
Raise children.
But the statement that she made was that children are a blessing from God. If that is the foundation upon which she's speaking, then why is it that black people then
because it's still deep?
Hold on.
Just black people.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a moment.
Can we handle these adult conversations?
If black people back then were devout religious Christians, then why did the Christians behave in a way then as opposed to what they do now? That's what I'm asking.
So that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say out of that, in my experience, like I shared from the church's perspective, it was a lot of hypocrisy to me. That's my opinion. For the fact that a lot of the women that was in there were single mothers prior, or it was on a second marriage with prior children. Let's just tell the truth of what it is. We can't keep like skirting around the truth and trying to bury it, act like we can't tell folks the truth of what really went on back in the day. And it was not just Black families. It was all races that it was considered a sin to have a child out. Majority of the race, not all of them, the majority of the races believed that it was a sin to have a child outside of wedlock. So in saying that, I'm just saying that it was a lot of hypocrisy. And that's the reason why I said, I'm not going to be that person. I'm going to show love wherever, when a child is born. And if they decide to have a baby shower, that's their business. That's their money. I'm going to come and support that. I'm bring my gifts, which is usually diapers and wipes, something that they can use that I know they're going to need for the baby. And I'm just saying, no, is it like a celebration? Are we trying to not make people, like he was saying, I forgot the words that he used, but when he used the words of saying, that I forgot the word. What word did he use saying about the baby showers? Like mediocrity, a life of mediocrity, a life of mediocrity. Listen,
that's why
I'm not trying to
maximizing mediocrity.
Yeah, like the
you're putting more into these you're putting more into these baby showers. You're putting more into these gender reveals than you are weddings.
And we understand that, but
it's one thing. It's
the
same thing.
Like if you look at what a woman thought she put basically what I was having.
Will, you gotta repeat that.
All babies are blessings.
A woman's thought on here. I know a woman's thought that if you read what's on the panel right now, that's sort of what the point that I was trying to address, and what I was saying is that when I was growing up,
encouraging it by celebrating.
When a girl got pregnant, she was sent to a school outside of the school because they didn't want them to influence other young girls in the school. That was part of the reason why they were moved.
So what about the father that helped create the baby?
And what you see now is
what about the father that helped create the baby?
I talked about that too.
He was left in school to get another girl
what happens
pregnant.
is now
Right.
they don't I said that too, Christine. I said that too. I said the father is not being held accountable in any of these situations. When you have these baby showers, he's not there. His mother normally shows up and she's taking his place, and he's off making another baby and another baby and another baby. I said, so you have all these things going on, and the thing is, the celebration, they have all little girlfriends come, and then next thing, one of them get pregnant, and then they go have a celebration, and then another one get pregnant. And so celebration is what, like I said, what's on the screen here, that celebration, what I think sometimes encourages people. And then some young ladies, and I've seen this too, and it's not a all or nothing like that, but sometimes you have a young lady who has never been loved. I talked about that before, who has never been loved, and she gets pregnant and she wants a baby because she tried to love, and she'll do that and have that baby.
And I think
there's a lot. Like I said, there's a low. I don't know how we end up with child support and all that other stuff.
Generational curses.
Yeah. I mean, this conversation can go so many different ways, and that's why I raised the question. But like I said, I've been invited to so many baby showers, and I have a friend that does like the decorations for them, and I'll see these big elaborate baby showers thrown for these for these young ladies, and it just makes me wonder: does something like that encourage, not intentionally, but does it subliminally encourage other young people, to do the same thing? It's condoned. It's basically condoning the fact of the pregnancy without the baby father, because they go into that with the baby father not even being in the picture. By the time the baby comes, most of the time the baby father is off with another girl.
Christine has a question.
Willie, you said you get invited to
I was
these
finishing
baby
my thought. Now I'm finished.
I'm sorry. You say you get invited to these baby showers a lot. Do you ever voice, your concerns to whoever's inviting you? Do you ever like make that suggestion? Like, is this really a good idea? Or
the concern I'm saying right here?
Yeah.
No, I don't. And the reason why I don't, because they're already pregnant. So for me to try to condemn them or make them feel bad about the situation, that's not my place. That's not my place. I'm asking the question.
By no means
because
mean that you should do that. I just wondered,
let me finish. And the thing is you can't stop something that's already going on. I'm invited to a baby shower. That means she's already pregnant. You know what I mean? She's already there, and I'm going there, and her girlfriends and everybody is already there. I've just been invited. So it's not like, you invite me before you get pregnant. You didn't say, hey, what should I do so I don't get pregnant? I do that in my program, but also, but once they're pregnant, there's not really say to that person without making them feel bad or try to make them, and that's not my place. I don't want them to feel bad. And like I said, I don't celebrate it, but I don't condone it either, because the fact is, you have more and more of this happening where, and like I said, we all make mistakes in life. You have one child out of wedlock. Okay, you learn from that. But what my point was, like Shawnee said, I said 3 and 4 and 5, because sometimes that's what you have happening, where it's no longer a mistake. It's just something that's something that's going on with that person that goes from man to man or a couple men or whatever the case may be, and have these babies. And then they go have these baby showers and people come out and celebrate.
Willie, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
It's always very alarming to me. It's always very alarming to me because I work with children, that when I hear adults say, when we make a mistake, it's not a mistake, because when you were laying down, and I'm not saying you, when you were laying down and you were with that person, and I know.
Well, I'm trying to. I understand.
Let her finish.
It's not a mistake.
When laying down and it was unprotected, you are not going to tell me you don't know what the outcome possibly could be. So when people say, and you made this mistake, you basically trying to say, oops, I made a mistake and had the child. That's not a mistake.
Right.
That's walking into something consciously knowing what's going to happen, but you made a flesh decision of saying, I just want the pleasure right now. And what produces out of the pleasure is you have another life. Okay? So my thing is, when we talk about this, about having baby
you missed what I said. I didn't say she
uneducated. Your statement is uneducated. It's not a mistake. Okay. As far as I'm concerned, when you talk about children and you talk about having children and different things like that, I get it. I was raised in a very religious background where women that wasn't okay to have a child out of wedlock. I get it. But you also got other backgrounds that come into that. You get women that are forced into a marriage that they did not want to be in because they got pregnant. Or
so what do you call?
Who got raped and now they have a baby because they were unbeknown to them. They didn't understand the magnitude of pregnancy. So there's so many layers to that, and for us to make unintelligent statements, not knowing people's experiences or their past or whatever may happen, it's not a fair statement, because we don't know what people's personal life issues.
So what it still is.
One thing you said when you started off your statement, you said that I said that they made a mistake. I did not say they made a mistake. I said we all make mistakes, is what I said. I said after one, it's not a mistake. They continue to make more and more babies. I said we all make mistakes, is what I say. It was a mistake.
And
I never believed that there's a mistake. You got two people involved. Listen, hold on, Shawnee. You got two people having sex. One of them could be using birth control. One of them could, but two, for whatever reason. So it's not a mistake. You know what the repercussions can be if you have sex without birth control. Whether the woman decided not to for whatever reason, she knew that she's pregnant, and he had sex with her, not wondering whether she's on it or if even concerned that I better protect myself. So he knows that he can make a baby. So it's not a mistake. I said we all make mistakes.
What is the appropriate term to use when you have an unplanned pregnancy that
you just said it. You just said it. Unplanned.
That's what you call it, an unplanned pregnancy?
Unplanned.
Oh, okay.
So can I
some people do plan them though.
So can I say something real quick? Let me ask this question. For every man that I know that's been on this panel has said they will not wait to have sex before marriage. They will not wait. They will have sex before marriage. But okay, you won't wait before you get married, but so that means you possibly can have a child before marriage. So meaning that says you're not being accountable as well. Why don't you then, since you don't want to put, let me finish, please. Can I finish, please, now? Thank you. Can I please finish?
Yeah, hurry up.
No, I ain't got to hurry up nothing. For the fact that, this is a pill that you're going to need to swallow. Since you don't want to wait until marriage, now you have a woman pregnant, and now it's her fault because she didn't use birth control because she want that government money. No, Negroes, sorry, ninjas, whatever you don't want to be called. Why didn't you wait till marriage and make her an honorable woman before you want to stick her penis in her, and then now you ain't got to worry about that.
Hold on. Let me say something.
I'll answer you very quickly because I'm gonna tell you, men are always gonna pay.
Let me say something to this.
Whatever. I mean,
hold on. Can I say?
We make a woman an honorable woman and marry her, and stop trying to talk about you want to wait till you have. Oh, I gotta test it out first. I gotta make sure it's good. Well, if you're a good man,
hold on.
Make the bed good.
Babies like you would, right?
Do what you need to do in the bed. Make the marriage good. Make the bed good. And then you can have good sex and keep having it with one woman.
Yeah, I'm about to mute.
Same foolish shit.
Because I want to get a word in. And for your smart ass comment, talk about thank you for saying something. You've been talking a whole damn lot that not too many people can get a word in. But for your statement to go back to that, when you said Negroes don't want to wait, it's probably they're not waiting because they said, shit, this woman been fucking up a storm. Why the hell I gotta wait 90 days, whatever, what she been doing? How do you know that? How do you know that's not the case?
That's not what it was when you slept with the first one. That ain't what it was when you slept with the second one. That ain't what it was when you slept with the third one.
I pretty much tell you, for a lot of guys, when it's their first sexual experience, it was the girl who was the aggressor.
Oh Lord! Now it's the girl that was the aggressor.
Ask the guy.
Oh, it's always shaming.
Ask God.
Ask the guy.
Have a sit down with all the men you know and ask who was coming on to who.
It don't mean they have to have sex.
No. Ask who was coming on to who.
Can I respond
to the first sexual?
Can I respond to the Facebook user?
What'd you say?
She said, they said, why Golden Willie? Don't go to any more baby showers
I want
unless
the
couple is marriage. The couple is married. See,
now again, listening is very important. Listening is very important in things that I say. I said I was invited to baby showers. I never said I went to any of them. I never once said I went to them. I said I was invited to a baby shower. I've been invited to baby showers. I said, and I see a friend of mine who posts up events that she does for baby showers. I've never once said I went to any of them. I have gone to one. I went to one years ago for a young lady who I used to work with, and it was the same situation, and I am the child's godfather. But that was the only baby I went to, and that was over 20 years ago. But I've been invited, and that's what I said. I've been invited to baby showers, and I saw these baby showers posted, and it's always seems to be a celebration. That was the question. Should these be celebrations or should it be shame? Because I remember when I was growing up, and that's when I went into my story. So, I mean, for the person to post that question, they're not listening. See, some people listen
I have a question. What's the fix for this? What is the fix? Because we aren't waiting until marriage for sex. We are not waiting for marriage as a collective. As a collective, we are not waiting for marriage until to have sex. With that being said, every time you lay down, there is a possibility of a woman getting pregnant.
That's right.
So if that initial line of birth control cells, wait. If that initial,
let her finish, please. Let her finish.
It's less of a possibility.
But she can't finish.
If that
you be quiet. Let her finish.
But she can't finish. She can't.
If that initial mode,
I ain't interrupted nobody. I mean, you interrupted her. Let her finish.
If the initial mode of birth control fails, right? And I heard the officer speaking of abortion, right? And you two, let's just say you're in a relationship. The initial form of birth control fails. You guys go and agree that we're not married yet. We're not in a place or a space to be married yet. So we're going to go get this abortion. You guys are still in a relationship.
Or give it up for adoption.
Huh? Okay, you continue to have sex.
Or get it for adoption.
Once you continue to have sex and you get pregnant again, what's the fix? Are you going to get an abortion again? How does that work? What's the other side to this is what I'm wondering.
But you keep saying, but see, the thing is, are these people, see, you have to look at situations. If you know you're having sex, unprotected sex, more than likely you're going to get pregnant over and over and over again. If people aren't using protection, whether it's the man using protection or the woman using protection, somebody is making a conscious effort to make sure, or on their part, to try to not make a baby out of that intercourse. So, I mean, that is another discussion, but in most cases these days, you have grown women, 30, 40 years old, who know that they can get pregnant and they're sleeping with a man and they're not taking any precautions and they know he's not taking any precautions. And then they have this baby. And then the guy is like, of course he's going to say, well, I wasn't trying to have this baby. I wasn't trying to have this baby. And then, and so he wants to walk away. But of course, now he's in a situation because she's having the baby. So now he's held responsible for it. So now you resentful in the situation because all he was doing was trying to have sex. And so now he's in a situation where he's forced to have to deal with a child. And the child, and who ends up suffering? The child ends up suffering. And like I said, there's so many ways this conversation can go. I'm not condoning, I'm not condemning, I'm not any of it. I'm just I brought it up because there was so many ways that it can go, and I wasn't expecting it to go. Like I said, we end up in child support court, and I'm still trying to get the baby born. So, I mean, for me, it was just that these are things that actually young people can hear and talk about, because a lot of young people don't hear that. And like in my program, and I'm using my program for an example. In my programs, the schools will not allow me to talk about contraceptives. And if I do talk about it, I have to let them know when I'm going to do it. And then their kids can opt out. Their parents can have them opt out of it because they don't want me to talk about it in the classroom.
And they trying to control that and have health classes talk about that.
I just got to say this real quick. I'm about to tag BGS in.
But a lot of times they don't talk about it in the health classes, or they allow the same opt out in the health class.
I'm gonna say this real quick. I'm gonna tag BGS in, and I'm gonna say this as my parting statement. Men are always made to be responsible, either by shame or financial. So when people say men are not held responsible, you're going to be held responsible either way or both. If there were no government incentives or court-appointed extortion, if we're going to really call it what it is, women wouldn't be having babies like that.
Sure as I wouldn't.
Wait a minute.
And I could give a damn whose feelings are hurt about it.
Nobody's feelings are hurt.
I don't think that's I don't think you're hurt your feelings.
It's a very accurate statement. Okay. Because
do you think so? Because a lot of men aren't even in a position to change your life or change your title.
Let me explain something. I'm going to explain something before I get off. One, I've been in these houses dealing with this shit for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
The courts will give custody back to a drug addict, abusive mother if she goes back to a few classes than a father who's trying to be there.
I agree.
So we got to stop being disingenuous like this shit does not occur. And yes, you have a lot of men advocacy groups out there fighting to change the laws. But how many times, and I'll use a perfect example, in what was it, about 91, 93, there was an all-boys school in Detroit? It wasn't white men who said shut that school down. It was black feminists, black female feminists. As much as we cry about we got to do something to help the young men, we have too many people in our supposed camp who's doing nothing but subterfuge and terrorist acts against your own. Now, for those who try to use, oh, well, white people make the laws, guess what? Guess what? Colt makes guns doesn't mean I need to use them. Just because you make fentanyl doesn't mean I need to snort it.
Just because you have a penis don't mean you have to stick it inside a woman.
Just because you have a vagina doesn't mean you have to open up your mouth.
Put in your hand. Put it back in your hand.
Just because you have a vagina, you could have shut that shit down.
Put it in your hand.
But I'm going to tag BGS in right now.
Put a Jimmy hat on it.
That's what happens. Open up your mouth and say stupid garbage, get stupid results.
The fact of the matter is, but no, Anita, you said something very great. You said something that's right. Like, but that's the thing. How is it that you're going to put it on one particular thing? Oh, why are you going to use a system? Because it was created for us. Okay, that's not our fault. And just like insurance, you get in a car accident. You have insurance. That person have insurance. I bet you're going to sue that person for that insurance to get that insurance to get your car fixed or your car replaced. Or if you get hurt for your pain and your suffering, that's what that's what the laws is for insurance for some states. So just like there's things in place for purposes. But if men and women, and we never on this panel ever said that the justice system is fair for Black men. We never said it. We never said that we don't understand the fact of what's going on. Anetta said it. Shawnee said it. I said it. We have always said it's not fair. Okay? We're not saying to you guys it's your fault. But what we keep hearing is we're getting blamed because we opened our legs. But you know why we opened up our legs? Because we desire to be a wife. We desire to be connected with a man that says little nothings in our ears and put these little hopes and dreams in our hearts. We desire these things. So what we do, we don't wait till marriage because y'all don't want to wait till marriage. We fall in, we give in, pray. I'm not saying that there's women that are not doing crazy stuff because they are. But there's men that are doing crazy stuff as well. So if the fact of the matter is my thing is, why are I'm always hearing from these men that come on the show, from BGS show, from whoever watched Kevin Samuel's show, that is always the woman's fault. It's not our fault. We just desire to have what you said, marriage, love, companionship. Sorry, let me finish, please. Companionship. No disrespect to you, BGS. I watch but it's show. Okay. I got love for you. I have love for every man on here because I love Black men. I love Black men. But the fact of the matter is, we get just as womenized as men get like masculated or whatever. It goes both ways. So just like a man wanted to penetrate into the woman, take that responsibility. If you don't want to pay that child support, you should have did your vetting process better, so that you wouldn't have to deal with them angry Black women that do have you at court.
And I don't know. I don't know what it is for other women to have children, be pregnant for 10 months, deal with the sleepless nights, Me personally, I breastfed for 1 year with my first, for 24 months with the second. Ain't no 15, and these men are not rich. Ain't no $1,500 check a month in the world worth it, or is gonna make me have a baby again to say I'm gonna get this child support check. Hell no. You cannot pay me.
That's you.
I
There's some
got a
people
stroller, I got a little baby. No. So it's not about the child support.
Yeah,
Let's not make it about or make it
it's not
appear
you.
that you are changing my lifestyle. Like, y'all
Now
not
for you, it's
basketball
not.
players. Majority of you guys are not basketball players where, you know, the child support check is $15,000 a month or et cetera, et cetera. No, these are regular men. So most of these child support arrangements or agreements are not even covering rent.
How,
So
how about how about we? I just did a video on the welfare cliff, right? And we actually estimated, and this has been estimated, actually documented. Okay, a woman with a kid, 1 or 2 kids, is going to get $30,000 to $40,000 in benefits. You know, Section 8.
if she
Help,
qualifies.
if you have a
So is
kid,
that really a come up though?
That's not true. That's
it is
not
true.
true.
It
It's
is
not.
true.
I was 19-year-old with my first child and 25 with the second.
You said
And I promise you.
Can
I'm
I
not
finish?
exempt.
Can I finish?
Go ahead.
Let him finish.
Can I finish? It's documented. It's not something that you can argue about. We could, because I looked at it. I looked at like 10 states. We actually went through 10 states to actually see what the welfare cliff was, and basically at a certain amount of money. Now, if you earn, if you earn like $20,000 or less, you're actually going to get $40,000 worth of benefit. That's how they call it, the welfare cliff. Okay, that's if you have a child, a woman with a child, a single woman with a child, she can get she can get babysitting, she can get education grants, she can get welfare, she can get food stamps, she can get Section 8, gets a whole host of things. We actually documented this down, and we actually had an economist, actually argued with an economist, okay, a PhD economist about it. He had to agree with it, okay. So it's not. It's just about. We're not just talking about. In other words, what we're saying is for a man to really qualify qualify as far as marriage in this state, especially depending on what state you're in, he's got to earn over $50,000 a year. The median wage for a black man is 27. Okay, so it's not even worth her if she's got a kid or two. She's not even worth it for her to actually marry her baby's father, because she's gonna lose $30,000 a year. We actually documented this. It's not
and
something.
I get that point, but again, you said $20,000 a year or more. Once you get a certain amount of money, and I remember this specifically when I lost my job when my son was in the NICU. I tried to get benefits. I wanted Medicaid for his ailments, and because he had all his ailments going on, I made $15 an hour. 19 years old, $15 an hour in the state of Maryland, and did not qualify for a food stamp, a Medicaid, a nothing at all.
Depends on what state that you're in, but the thing is, the median wage of a black woman is $19,000 a year. That's the median wage. How many? That's the median. That's the median. So half the women do qualify. Half the women do qualify. So the thing is, it's what I'm saying is, you can look up the welfare cliff yourself. You don't believe me? And Willie can tell you.
So why am I sleeping with women that make $20,000?
It's called sex. It's because they only make the median wage for the median wage of a black man is only 26. So 40% of black men make less than $20,000 a year themselves. They're in the same class.
But
one at a time. Go ahead. Ask me a question. Well, who's first?
I'm looking. I pulled up my laptop from work so I can pull this up and I'll get the accurate numbers for Medicaid, New York State, what they send us for foster care, which means that every child that's in foster care automatically gets Medicaid. Okay. But there's an exception. If the income is higher, they're not getting Medicaid. So for
higher
than
what?
Family of one, for a family of one, the Medicaid guidelines is about $28,000 a year. So which means that is like $23.94 for one. That's just speaking the adult. So now you add a child on. When you add a household of two, it's $32.38 a month. That's what they're looking at for guidelines. So when you
Okay.
think about that, what Shawnee is saying is accurate. I have a lot of parents that cannot get Medicaid with one child. Okay, because they make over 40,000 a year.
Yep.
Yeah, what I'm
Okay.
saying,
So,
what I'm saying, how many though?
Are you gonna allow me to speak?
Okay,
I'm not gonna yell.
Please let her talk.
Okay.
I'm not gonna yell. So, because of the income guidelines, and these income guidelines are structured by a multiplication of 2.6555, and they calculate that on the gross income. That's before taxes and everything. Okay. So what happens is a lot of parents don't meet those guidelines for Medicaid or Child Health Plus or food stamps. Okay. So when you talk about 19,000, I'm like, where that's at?
Right.
That's in Buffalo.
No, hold on a second. All right, what is the median earnings of a black woman in the United States? What's the median earnings? Median, half and half. It's $21,000 a year. That's the median. That's half. That's half. That's half. So what about the? Can I finish? Can I finish? Can I finish? That's not an average. That's median. Go look at your Social Security. Median means half 50-50, right? The median earnings for a black woman is $20,000 a year.
No, it's
so
not 41,000. I just googled.
That's the average. That's average. Average.
Black families have a median household income.
Household. That's not the woman. That's not. That's
I'm
household.
to you.
Okay, read it to me. Is household individual?
It says 41,000.
It's household individual.
They're probably lumping in the men in that too.
Household is how many people in the household?
But she just okay. Can I say this too? I'm in New York State. I had, and this is real talk.
Can you answer my question first? How many in the household?
Oh, let me pull that back up. I'm sorry. I'm gonna bring it back up. Have you said how many in the household with that?
I do this all the time. How many in the household? Is it one person, two person, three person?
It says what is the average income? Let me say, how much does the average? Not the woman. I said black woman. How much does the average African American make a year? And the answer that came up was 41,000. Oh, just over.
Okay. Let me. Okay. What is the difference? Okay, look. Do me a favor. Look up the definition. Can I please? Can I please finish? Okay. Look up the definition between average and median. Okay. Look it up for me.
I got it here. I found it.
BGS, I just put a media, and I'm currently right now emailing one of our people that deal with the politics and legislation. And I asked him because I'm like, I know you got this in your desk and in front of you. And he just told me for an African American woman, the median is a 31.5.
The median?
He just broke it down to an example. He said that's somebody who is currently probably working 2 jobs, one at Walmart, one at Burger King, and they're combining their incomes. He said that is the median for black women.
I'm looking at an article from January 2021. Black women and the wage gap. This is from the National Partnership of Women and Families. There's a chart here. I don't know. There's a chart on here, and it says I'm looking at New York. There's 546,000 black women working full time year round, and they said median wages for black women is 44,407. It said that's for New York State. I don't know. Georgia is 35,800. For Texas, it's 38,000. But this is a chart. This is from a chart. This is from. I can't make that up. That's what this chart is saying. If you want to Google it, it's in there. So those statistics that you're saying are not correct. This is from January 2021.
That ain't correct.
And let me say this too.
Okay.
Let me just share this real quick.
Okay.
When I divorced my ex-husband, I was getting the food stamps because I have a big family. I did not make over. I think I could make up to 66,000 a year. I didn't make that much at the time. When I divorced him, do you know what he did? Because he's on Social Security disability. He went and said, "Oh no, I got residency," and they cut me off social services and gave it to him. Just to share with that example, and the first example about black, when I had my one son. I made $50 over. That was back in 1992, 93, 94 time. I made $50 over the number back then where they wouldn't even give me no help. and I was making $10 an hour back then, if that. So what I'm saying is that I don't know what state or municipality that people are working in that's going in and trying to make these things change, but I promise you they took it away from me and gave it to him. So these statistics is definitely what you've been sharing are not 100% correct. And
Okay.
then real quick, and I just want to share
Okay.
this real quick, and I'm gonna shut up
Okay.
again.
All right. All right.
This is where now I want to go back to when we was talking about the men and the women.
Mm-hmm.
Here I made a note because I knew I would forget. I made okay. So why is it the majority of the conversations I hear that you guys have is that the woman is supposed to be submissive and actually more of the follower of men and the weaker vessel. Am I wrong in saying that?
If she wants to be married, yeah.
If she wants to be married,
Right.
but then you want us to be the strong one to keep our legs closed.
Okay. Well, okay.
So which one do you want?
Okay. Because you know why? Is because that is part of submission. Because guess
opening our legs is part of submission, right?
for 100,000 years who has been the gate?
For being submissive?
Okay,
I'm done.
No. Keep talking. She wants to talk over. Keep talking.
So for 100,000 years,
you want me to talk? Can I talk, or you guys want me to listen? Which one?
I'm trying to get you to continue your statement.
Thank you. For 200,000 years, really, all of human history, black women, or women, period, have been the gateways of what? Fertility, right? Gateways fertility. They're the ones that determine whether the child is going to be born or not. Okay, since 1970, they have given you the option by giving you birth control. Okay. So basically, if black women abrogate their responsibility, because it's men's responsibility to keep the infrastructure going, right? Make sure that the food's on the table. Make sure that the animals are subdued. Make sure that the buildings are there, the firewood, all that kind of infrastructure is done, right? That is their responsibility. Okay, if the woman's responsibility is in the social realm. Who gets born? Okay, how the kids are raised, all that kind of stuff. When the women abrogate their responsibility, guess what you're going to get? You're going to get freaking chaos. If this is the kind of stuff that you want, fine. Okay, it's okay. So if women are going to abrogate their responsibility, and the black women have, so you gone from, I think, was it in 1960? In 1960, I think the out of wedlock birth rate was 15%. Now it would just recline. It got up to like 75%. Okay. When they gave black women freedom over their wombs, guess what happened? It exploded.
And
So
can I say something?
So why can't we hold accountability on both?
It's because just like men's responsibility is to protect society, and it has been, men cannot dodge or abrogate that responsibility. You can't dodge yours either. You can't put it off on the men when you're responsible, because guess what happens when you have the kid? You cannot dump that kid off on somebody else. That kid belongs to you. You're the one that has to pay the biggest penalty. Okay.
Right.
Can I finish? I just got up here. Can I finish? Can I finish? You're supposed to be doing self-care, right? I'm teasing. No, I'm teasing. I was shocked when I saw you pull up. That's what I'm saying.
Can you finish, please?
Okay, I damn near forgot my point.
I didn't forget my point.
Well, where was that? Can somebody remember where I was?
You were talking about women abrogating their responsibility.
Abrogating their responsibility. This is what happens, is because at the end of the day, it's on you. If the state did not, because back in the day, I could tell you, because I've been reading this old literature, right? Back in the day, before the state got involved, and before they allowed, in the 60s, late 50s and early 60s, when they allowed black women to actually have the same rights to welfare and protection that white women have, right? If black women had a baby out of wedlock, out of the family helped take care of that black woman starved to death. Okay, That was her penalty for having a baby out of wedlock. Okay, we removed that penalty. Okay, we removed that penalty. Okay, that's like when we used to have shotgun marriages. Okay, you basically it used to be the case where if a brother got a woman pregnant, you bought that. Okay, you had to
Yep.
marry her. You bought it.
Mm-hmm.
That's yours. That's your womb that you despoiled. You had to bought that. Okay, in the modern era, women wanted to be free. They wanted independence. So we broke that contract. Okay, so now and they gave women responsibility for their own womb. Okay, we're going to give you abortion and child support, abortion and birth control. Now you're responsible for your womb. Guess what happened? It got worse. Go ahead.
Yeah, the men having sex and blaming it on the woman getting
Then
pregnant got worse.
But let me say this. But you made a valid point.
one at a time. Hey, you guys, three people are talking at one time. Who's first?
Anita, go ahead, Anita.
Abortion is not. It should not.
It's not supposed to be.
It should not be a form of birth control.
But it is for black women.
Let me finish. Whether a woman chooses to have that child, give it up for adoption, or not have that child, it still has some form of repercussion for the woman. Not so much as most men, but for the woman. Okay? And what I hear a lot of is that men think having children is a come up for a woman getting more money. Do men understand that a woman who is getting child support has custody of this child, has responsibilities over this other life 24/7? They have to worry about childcare, clothing, health. They have to worry about keeping a roof over the head, the basic human needs.
So let me ask you a question, Anita, real quick. No, hold on. I see your finger in the air, but I can only talk to one person at a time. If that's okay, Lakeith. Is that okay? Is that okay? Is that okay? Is it okay to talk to one person at a time? Is it okay? Let her finish. We're having a conversation. Can we finish? Thank you.
I'm like, yes, please.
Thank you.
Because it seems like men think women are greedy. We want child support.
Okay.
And it's a come up.
Okay.
To the next level, to get rich or middle class or whatever.
So it's not. So it's not, huh?
Really not.
So how come?
I don't know where people got this idea that having children as a come up and getting on welfare. It's not a come up. Anita. Have a celebrity.
So how come we don't?
How come give you everything that you need to live and have be a come up by having that child?
Okay. Can I make a point? Can I make a point?
No, because I'm not done yet.
Okay.
Hurry up.
I am not done yet.
You said she could go, Dave. Let her go.
I'm not done yet.
That don't mean go for like 10 minutes straight, 15 minutes.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, even though I don't have children, I'm still a woman. Okay, and something was said that I felt that was very insensitive. It doesn't matter how many, guys look at how many sex partners or guys ran through her. So it's okay, for them to run through her.
Where's that coming from?
Else did.
Where's that coming from?
I think that might have been before you entered the chat.
Yeah,
and I don't think that's exactly what was said.
Okay, why is it aimed at me though?
It's not aimed at
No, I
you.
think she's making a point.
I'm making a point. Okay.
I'm making a point. So women have control over. So Roe versus Wade was 1973, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. So in today's day and age, it is still frowned upon.
Really?
And I think the male population makes women feel kind of shameful to have these babies out of wedlock. But the men are half of the problem. Even if I said I was on birth control and we were fucking without condoms, okay, and you ejaculated in me, there still could be a possibility, right? If I'm not on birth control and I tell you I'm not on birth control, so you should probably pull out, and you don't pull out, that's still part of my problem because I still could get pregnant and I still have to do something for the rest of my life about being pregnant, whether it's giving up for adoption. That's a lifelong mental process.
How about it? How about the morning after pill?
And you think that's a good form
I'm
of
asking.
It's not, and it's not always 100. It's not 100%.
Do you know how the morning after pill works?
Abstinence. But guys don't want to wait.
Can I get in? Make a point though.
No, you can't.
Okay, all right.
Don't want to wait until they get married to have sex.
They don't want to wait.
But they should have. They want a woman not to take the chance to have a baby daddy before they get married. Now that is contradicting.
It is. Can I jump in, please? Can I please jump in? I've been very
I thought you were done.
I wanted to ask her a question. Is that okay?
Go ahead. No,
in other words, if
he was waiting for her to stop so he can answer a question.
Yeah, well, like 12 last 10 minutes. Okay, I wanted to ask you a question. Okay, I agree with you, right? With all of that. Do women actually go to their little girls and tell them all that when they're little girls, when they're teenagers, even when they're young adults? Do they actually go and say the same thing that you're telling us? That it's not a come up to have a child. It's not a come up to have a baby out of wedlock. It's prudent upon you to actually have before having sex, either have some kind of form of birth control. In other words, even if you don't like them, you don't have them. I ain't seen no guy turn down no coochie because he got to wear a condom. Walk out, say, I'm not wearing this. I ain't never seen one. In other words, it's hard. I'm ready. You got to put this on, brother, before we can get down. He ain't gonna say no. None of that actually happens. Hold on. Okay.
Responsibility is on the woman.
You want to say my name?
That's not what I'm saying. Is that's what I'm saying. Regardless of who's the responsibility, just what you just said. Do women actually go out and tell their little girls that? Because I told my daughter that. Okay. But do women go out and tell their little girls that?
Knock your head back and forth.
Can you answer the question?
I'm about to.
Okay.
When I was coming up, the household that I grew up in, sex was not talked about. I just came up in that kind of household. I didn't come from the streets. I didn't come from a rough life. It wasn't popular to talk about sex. It was just about abstinence. So,
but that statement his question is not relative to coming up in the streets or coming up in a rough life.
I understand that, and I understand what he's saying.
See, this is the problem.
My answer is
you didn't answer his
question. Hold on, Charles. Let her talk.
Popular to talk in my family about that. That's my answer.
What I'm saying is now. I'm talking about now. I'm not talking about what's coming in. I'm not. Anita. I'm not talking about you when you grew up. I'm talking about now. Do women nowadays, or all the stuff that's happened and all the stuff that's going on, do women actually go to their little girls, go to the women, the girls in their neighborhood, young adult females, and tell them this? Do that?
No, they don't.
Okay, that's all I want to know.
I know one of my girlfriends, she has 5 kids, 5 little girls, and she does talk to them about that.
Well, she didn't talk to them. She showed me talk to them.
I'm sorry.
All right, next.
Can I jump in real quick? Yeah, look here. That was my son.
What's the next question?
The question I have for him is this. He made a statement.
Talking about the next talking point.
Okay. We're going to go to, let me just say this one thing.
Okay.
BGS, you made a very great statement that men are the protectors. Am I correct?
Yeah, for society. Yeah.
For society.
Yeah.
So when you men choose to sleep with a woman, are you not supposed to protect her?
Who's the gateway of fertility?
No, answer that question.
No,
Did you protect her by putting on your condom? Did you protect her by telling her, "I'll wait till you get me to marry you to have a child"? Did you protect her?
Yeah. If somebody busts through that door trying to kill her, that's my job. Yeah, she's supposed to protect me from that. That's her job. 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 Yeah, that's her job. That's her job. That's her responsibility. That's her responsibility and her father's. That's her responsibility and her father's because that's her womb. Yes, yeah, she's protecting her own womb. Yes, 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 yes.
Oh Lord,
that's her responsibility. Do your job. Do your job.
Go ahead.
Go
ahead.
Do your job. You're not a little girl. You're not an infant. Do your job.
Okay.
Do your job. Do your job. Do your job. That's your job. Fertility is your job. Your womb. Protect your own womb. If you want to give it up, give it up. Do your job. Fathers need to go back with the goddamn shotgun.
No.
Yes, that's how they were actually protected. Pops came out with the goddamn shotgun. Get the fuck out of here, okay?
So if
that's it. That's daddy's job.
Let me jump in for a hot second. BGS, hold on.
That's how men protected the womb.
Let me jump in here for a hot second. I'm going to drum up a piece of history and reinforce what BGS is just saying. I remember when I was about 14 or 15, somebody's stepfather came outside the house and chased me down the street with a 2x4 because his daughter was sitting in the window talking dirty. That's what BGS is talking about. Now, I'm not going to mention any names. I'm going to just leave that shit sitting right there so it can get kind of funky.
Okay, can I say something?
Anita's going to go there. Master Barber's going to go after that.
Okay,
I mean, Anita.
Oh, he's finally going to get in?
So I'm going to say this. I think that I want to make sure I'm pronouncing your
BGS, Black Gnostic speaks. Yeah, Black Gnostic. Yeah.
What he's saying is factual. Okay, I understand the whole protect mode and everything. And Lakia, I know where you're coming from, but I'm going to speak without all the emotions because I can't speak of having a child out of wedlock. I was married at 18. I can't speak of that. But one thing I can say, and all my kids about one man, one thing I can say is we have to be honest as women and say we are the responsibility holders. We got to say that. We have the gateway to what they need, okay? We have to be honest and say that is true. So and I keep saying this over and over again, and I say this even to the young ladies that sit down and talk to me. You have the power. You can say, no, you're not the one for me. No, you're not it. So when you lay down with somebody, you know if that joker is your future or not. So we got to take some ownership, accountability, and responsibility. We can't get mad after you don't have the babies. I'm like, he ain't no good. You knew that joker wasn't no good.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
So my thing is, I'm not that person. Exactly. I'm not the woe is me chick. I'm not the chick that sit there and be like, whoa, he's so horrible. No, I have to take some accountability and responsibility on the decision that I made. And so do he, okay?
That's where I'm coming from.
That's why I said equal accountability.
People, you make your own responsibilities and you make your own decisions. We going back and forth with this blaming. I got one question. What is the freaking solution?
I've asked that 30 minutes ago.
Oh, it's easy. Go back to what we used to do.
What's the fix?
Arranged marriages. Arranged marriages.
But come on, let's be realistic.
That is realistic.
That's the realism.
You can't come up with a solution if you can't talk about
it. See, that's the problem. Everybody wants rights.
Hold on. Let's dig even deeper in that. You want to talk about marriages. Right now, in the society that we live in, marriages is not a foundational piece in people's communication.
They don't have children.
Let's be honest and state that. Yes, that's easy to say don't have children, but we can't control adults.
So in other words, if somebody gives you a solution and you don't like the answer, don't shoot the messenger. If you don't want to go back to hold up. If you don't want to go back to the old ways, because everybody wants to be a revolutionary, but they don't want to go without electricity for a whole week. Everybody wants something new to spring up just so they can say, for real, modern women don't want husbands. They don't want leaders. They don't want protectors. They just want figureheads to blame. When men actually come up with solutions to say, fuck this. We going back to the old ways. We're gonna pair you up with this guy. You sleep with her, you break, you buy. There's gonna be. See, I don't believe in a shotgun wedding. I believe in an AR-15 wedding. You know, because first and foremost, if you ever notice, when men were saying, you ain't gonna do this. If you're gonna get with somebody, you're gonna get with the best possible man your looks, your attitude, and your skills can get.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so
that didn't even make
let
sense.
me ask you.
Hold on. But here's the
wrap it up, Charles.
When we let women go to their primal urges, they can't take it when the results come out on them. When you wanted to act like men, but notice men don't carry babies. You do.
Okay, but we hear you, sir. And I know everybody heard me loud and clear. I've never not taken accountability. I never said women shouldn't take accountability. I said I didn't even go after my baby daddies for child
Did we
support.
say you? That's
I'm
the
not
problem.
saying
I'm
you,
gonna
sweetie.
explain
I'm not saying
something.
that.
Charles,
Just hear
Charles,
me
Charles,
out. Just
Charles,
hear me out.
Charles.
Just hear
Hear him
me
out.
out. So what I'm saying is that
I do bash women.
we're just saying, and as everyone is saying, and as and Shaughnessy has been saying, we have to stop with the narrative of always trying to blame one particular gender,
each other,
one particular race, one particular culture. This is an individual thing. Individually, I am saying to my brothers and my sisters on this panel and in this chat that we all need to take accountability. I tell people I laid down, I had them, they all mine. And guess what? If a man ain't never put down a dime, I promise you, you're gonna see the fullness of what I did for
You know,
him.
you know what the solution is,
You're
but
gonna see
nobody's
the
going to do it.
fullness of it because I took
I'm
responsibility
interested
and
to
I
hear.
took
You want a
accountability
solution? You want a
and said, let
solution
me
is,
finish,
but
and
no one
that's
wants
what
to
I
hear it.
do for my children.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right. We are the gatekeeper. We are the ones that open up our legs. We have that choice. And you're right. And guess what? There was some, but also I laid down with a man that said he wanted to marry me before marriage. I said, okay. I allowed myself to be that woman he wanted me to be. And guess what? He did not be the man he promised me he was going to be. So what I'm saying, it goes both ways. There's accountability on both ends. That's how it's going to change. Not saying one person or one
There
gender.
are
So my
some.
question
I'm
is,
sorry, but there's some.
you want an easy solution, but I know the state's not going to do it because you won't have very many kids.
what's
It's
the
called
easy solution?
it's called reversible vasectomies. Okay, starting at 18 years old. So in other
Ooh.
words, a man from 16 on up, a boy would go in and get a reversible vasectomy. He can't have no kids unless he gets it reversed. Without so in other words,
Now, can I ask
how,
some?
can I please finish
You
before
can,
you
you
butt?
can.
Thank
I have
you,
no disagreement with you
thank you, thank
at
you.
all.
Can I finish the explanation before you interrupt me though?
Absolutely.
Unless
I was just asking a question before you furthered your point because I needed clarity, but I don't even care anymore. Go ahead.
in other words, a reversible vasectomy. In other words, you get it at 16 years old, and you can't have any kids until you get it reversed. Because I asked a genetic engineer and about 3 or 4 doctors. Right, it's very easy to actually get it reversed now. But the thing is, they won't do it because you won't have very many kids if men start doing that. But go ahead, ask your question.
I'm okay.
It's also not solidified as medically a necessity either. You have to think about that. You also have to think about the insurance piece of that. You also have to think about the
I
financial
did.
piece.
I asked. I
I mean,
asked.
they
I asked.
circumcise and
I,
they
I,
do a lot of they cover abortions and stuff. So I don't even think it's that. My question or my suggestion in this was, is the problem unwed African Americans? Is the problem that we feel as though kids are being brought up in single parent homes and they're not being productive members of society?
all of
Or
that.
are we stuck in the notion that only if your parents are or were married, you're going to be a valuable piece of this society? Because I agree. I had 2 children out of wedlock. They have
Mm-hmm.
both the same father. Do I like their father nowadays? No. Is he a great and amazing father? Yes. Do I still think we'll raise these two human beings to be the best human beings we can, yes, but that doesn't mean that they aren't blessings. They aren't to be celebrated. They aren't to be included in anything good that goes into the society.
Okay. Let
me say something. Let me say something
go ahead.
quick. Let me say something. So I think when Willie proposed this question, again, he was talking about people with 3, 4, 5, multiple kids, fathers. So it seems like those people are not learning. They just keep having stuff over and over. So that's why he was saying, should it be a celebration or should or should they be shamed? Like somebody called them, like, hey, now this is enough. The last couple was enough, but you keep doing it and keep having these showers.
If nobody else is taking care of their children, then why can we say something?
Somebody else is taking care of them. Who? More than likely.
Well, one person, one person cannot take care of multiple kids. Okay, it's hard enough to take care of one kid and work and be able to take care of the needs. Okay, you need more than one person.
So if a woman has 3 baby daddies and she has 2 kids per baby daddy, let's just say that, and all 3 of these men that she chose just happen to be good men. So regardless of whether the relationship worked out, they got married, etc. These are
is that the case though?
No, hold on.
I'm not saying. I'm literally asking for clarity. I will not have any other kids. I don't agree with multiple baby daddies. Can
I ask you a question? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. We've had this history. We've had this history over the past 60 years, right?
Yep.
And so we're gonna throw out all the data on single parent households and poverty and child poverty and education and all the other kind of data that's been accumulated over the last 60 years. You're gonna throw all that out and say that it's a good thing?
No. I'm not saying that we'll throw things out. What I'm saying is there is a solution. The solution
what is it?
is accountability on both ends.
Okay.
The solution would be, what are we doing with our sons as well as our daughters? So like you said, the shotgun weddings, I hear you. Like, I know of people that have done them. They are still together. Some of them have broken up. Some of them are no longer together. I know of people that waited to marriage to have their first, second, and third children. And every time they were married, every time they had a child, they were actually married and they're still separated. Marriage is not as valued as it used to be either. So what is the solution?
And what I want to ask you a question, okay? Trying to make people accountable, does that work? Does it work?
So. I think
really?
So.
Okay, where?
I think so.
No.
And here's why
we try to make it
like no. Where? Over 60 years, has that worked?
You know why?
I don't think we have an.
I'm asking her. Can I ask her a question?
We're not being held accountable. We're not being held accountable. If I decide to go have another child, a third and a fourth child, let's just say for some weird reason, I decide to get knocked up again. At that point, I have 2 children. And
she made your case, Willie.
2 children at the same time. That's my point, right?
She just made your case, Willie.
But if you listen to me and hear me out, so
that
means I have 4 kids. That means I have 4 kids now. If I quit my job, that means
if y'all listening.
Yo, I heard her. I'm telling Willie she's making his case. I can listen.
If I quit my job right now, I'll get child care, I'll get medical assistance, I'll get this, I'll get that.
Yes.
That's no accountability for the woman.
Okay.
But if you go on the other side to the men, he has created these children that he also does not have accountability for. So on both sides, and I'm sorry, child support is not accountability.
I thought that have you ever paid it?
A paycheck is not accountability.
Have you ever paid child support? That is accountability, man.
We don't even have
You can't forge a relationship with a child by itself.
You can't. If you're living in an efficiency apartment because you have child support and they're taking away your license and threatening putting you in jail, is that accountability?
No, I don't feel like that's the
somebody
right
holding you.
Okay, all right. That's all I got to say. I'm done.
Wow.
Okay, I'll mute up.
David, I got something.
I don't agree with child support. I don't agree with the notion of child support. Because at the end of the day,
right there.
At the end of the day, nobody. If you could pay all the money you want and have to be.
So wait a minute. Let me ask you this question, right? You're driving down the street. I'm a pedestrian. You hit me with your car. Can I see you?
Yeah, sure.
Can I hold you accountable to my medical and all the damages I've incurred physically and mentally?
Geico, yes, you can.
Yeah.
So what's the difference with child support?
The difference to me is the difference to me is money and a relationship with your child. And
hold on, Charles. Let her finish. Don't kick the chair, Charles. Let her dig her hole.
I'm not digging nothing. Anybody could throw a check. Anybody could pay towards a child. Are you fostering raising this child? I don't know why you guys have the notion that money is all that it costs.
So let me ask you this question. What's your name again?
Shaughnessy.
Shauna, let me ask you this question.
Shaughnessy.
How many
attitude. Attitude.
I'm pretty sure Shauna doesn't need a body bag. I'm gonna ask you this question. How many of those women are giving them children to the father and said, here you go?
I wanted to several times because you know
no. How many are giving the children?
And you know what I said? I didn't.
How many? How many? How many?
How many of the fathers are accepting?
Not
we willing to take on that.
In other words, ask the question.
All right. Next question. Why are you single? And what helps you navigate through dating? Why are you single?
Because the people thought process.
Okay.
Single as in married or single as not in the relationship?
Oh gosh.
Annetta, what was your
bad attitude?
What's your take on that? if you're not married, are you classify those people? If you're not married,
fingers like sausages.
If you are
suckers.
Not married, if you are not married, okay.
I'm trying to hear.
So
if you're
tramps.
This is what I'm going to say.
I'm trying to listen.
This is what I'm going to say.
304s.
Okay.
Like, why are we being rude?
No, I'm sorry.
She's digging, so I'm digging back.
We're digging together.
Okay,
guys.
And David, I appreciate you asking me to be on this panel. I really appreciate it. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be very respectful, and then I'm going to respectfully decline being on here the rest of the show. I'm not a person that would slander or say malicious things to other people to put them down or be belittling. I don't like it. It's very discomforting. And when we talk about the killing in our streets and all this stuff that's happened to Black men and Black women, the way we're displaying ourselves on here is not a solution. Okay? It's not helping. It's not benefiting at all. At all. So I'm going to respectfully decline because I'm not going to BGS, other brother. I'm not going to go back and forth, throw out my slander, go back and forth with you, say humiliating things and try to emasculate you. That's not me as a woman. So David, I thank you for this opportunity for being on this panel. Each one of you have a wonderful night, and I wish nothing but blessings and success on each one of you. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Right.
Take care.
Try to figure out where
Take care.
One thing if I could say this.
No. She was talking about me. She was talking about me.
Me too.
She said to me too, because I'm gonna say this. See, the problem is y'all don't like the truth. It's okay to talk about all these rumors about Black men, but when statistical evidence has been presented, kids who are raised in two-parent households tend to do better than single raised families. Yes, get over.
I'm not debating that.
But here's the problem. I never said you did. So
let me just say this.
We moved on from that topic.
When we actually talk about,
okay.
I'm gonna say this. We are adults. We're on this show. We have fun with each other. It's nothing. I'm gonna say this. We have conversations, and no, I don't take what me and BGS just did. We were having fun with each other. We were going back and forth. I'm not offended by it. We just showing we were saying different things that women and men are being called, and we're not belittling each other. I'm not belittling him. And like I said, I'm gonna always say I love Black men. I have much respect for BGS. I have much respect for the men in
No,
this
I'm
panel,
touched.
and on and in the chats, because I have no ill will towards you guys. The way that you live your life and the way that I live my life will never affect each other, because we don't cross each other's paths like that. And if you have what you do with your life got nothing to do with me, and what I do with mine has nothing to do with you. And so the thing is here, we're having conversation as adults. We having fun sometimes. It may seem a little funky, but it's nothing to get upset about. And that's all I'm gonna put out there
You,
on the table.
I
We
want to
having a
say,
conversation.
I want to say this, and I want to say this as seriously as I can, because Charles is here, right? Okay, on the men's side, okay, we get irresponsible men that actually making babies. We digging their ass, okay,
I'm glad
with
to
with
hear
two,
that.
with 2 feet, with
I'm
two
glad to
feet,
hear that.
okay, because
Both
it's
can
gonna
get a
ruin their
check for that.
life. We do that all the time. Don't you know? Uh, don't get involved with a woman that's not up to your caliber. Don't even date a woman that's not going to help you. Don't have children out of wedlock, right? We tell them
Yep.
that all the time. Okay,
Okay.
I see the
don't have babies that you're not prepared for,
see.
because certain people like me and Charles included, we fucked up by, excuse my language, we screwed up by doing stuff like that. We're trying to tell men,
Mhm.
boys, and young men now that do not follow in these footsteps. Okay, because this is
Oh,
what you're going to get. And first thing we say, if you have a baby out of wedlock, you get hit on child support, shut up and pay it.
Yeah.
Shut up and pay it. Okay.
Yep.
If I tell a man to say, you know what, if your baby mama is going to fight you over access to that child, she wanted that you father that child, pay the child support and move on. Don't even
what?
bother.
Why?
Let me
Be,
tell you
be,
why. I'm gonna
the
tell you
whole thing.
why.
She asked me a question. Why? Because if you don't want me to be a father to your child, guess what? I'm not going to do. Be a father to your child. It's up to you to allow me to be a father to your kid, if that's what you want.
See, Sean, see,
Why,
this is
why be? Why? Hold on a second. Why be a barrier? If that woman wants you to be in that child's life, she'll actually make a point, just like she opened her legs
Oh
for
my
you,
God. So
right?
I feel bad.
so,
I
hold on,
feel,
Shaughnessy. Hold on, Shaughnessy. This
yeah.
is why at the top of the show for the last 2 weeks I've been talking about my situation, and
Right. Right. Right.
it's
I hear you.
burying itself right here in a microcosm of this. That's why I said as of tonight it's shut down. I'm not going to fight to be a father
I
when a
understand. I
woman
understand.
does not have to. If we're gonna call a spade, then it has to be equal footing, a shoe on one foot here and a shoe on one foot here. It can't be what the woman wants when she desires what she wants. That's
I hear
operating
and I
at a whim,
respect.
and
I
that
hear
just
and
doesn't
respect your
work.
struggle. I hear and respect your struggle.
It's not even. It's not a struggle.
Well, okay, I'm not saying you're struggling. I'm just
No,
saying
no, 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 no. It's
I'm
not a
saying
struggle.
men.
Period.
I'm just saying men, and they have this unfair. Women have this unfair precedent over women. But here's my thing, and this is just what I stand on. I hate the fact that black men feel that they are so unsupported in our freaking society that they cannot fight for their freaking children. If that child has 50% of your fucking DNA, you have the same rights to that child as I do. And that shit is wicked.
That's a
That
You
shit
know
fallacy.
what?
is
You know what's
Fight
wicked.
funny?
for
I
what?
do
It's
not.
no.
And the
Well, I want
reason
to
I
say
say fight for
why,
this,
why,
I don't know.
why, why?
I think I just
Let
imagine
me
my
ask you a
kid
question. And what I'm saying, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Why? If
because I
both,
could never imagine taking my kids from their father, and I can never imagine him
That's you,
not
but that's
so,
not
fighting
me.
for them.
so in
I
other
can
words,
never imagine him
your
not
kid's
fighting
father
for
doesn't
them.
fight for access to his kids, does he? He doesn't have to fight, does he?
No, he doesn't.
That's exactly. Women should be
I
just
just,
like you, because you
I
want a
just
father
told,
for your children, right?
I just told
Now
you
I
an
want a
example.
break. No, let me
I want,
stop.
but see,
No,
but
no.
here's the
I want to say,
problem.
Charles. I'm asking her a question. You want a father for your children, right?
Absolutely.
So you don't actually be an impediment for him to have
But
access to
not
his
even,
children.
not only a father, and I'll say this to you guys too. Not only, it's
Uh
not
huh.
just a father. I really am. They 50% his. I don't believe in that mama's baby, daddy's maybe. Hell no, nigga. This your kids too.
So why
So
should a
what's
father?
your plan? What's
So
your
why
plan?
should
How are we gonna do this together?
why should black men have to fight for their children?
Right.
And that's what I said from the
That's the
beginning.
law
I
that
don't
you
agree,
exchanged.
and I do feel like
He
just like
shouldn't have.
because sheesh, I can't even remember his name, but it's progressive. It's been moving forward. But it's just as a Black woman, and I have so many friends and etc. that grew up without fathers. I grew up with my father, never had this issue. It's sad to me to see men quit when I've seen men be successful. And the only reason they will get nowadays, you can get, and I'm initially when I moved to Virginia, I was 4 hours away from my kid's father. Y'all know the first thing this motherfucker did? He didn't say nothing to me about, he didn't disagree with it because he felt like he couldn't disagree. He took my ass to court for joint custody. And I was confused, and I'm like, dog, like, what? This is what we doing? And he was like, no, I didn't know what you was doing. He was like, I just want to put it in the books because, you know, that's 4 hours away. And I'm like, wait, we talked about it. You agreed on it. And this is what I said I was going to do. And he was like, yeah, but it was just a little weird. And I just wanted to go put that in paper. And it's sad that somebody has to feel that way. And we do have it. Of course, that's fine for him to be comfortable because I don't ever want. So we have joint custody. We have complete joint custody. I won't,
You have sons?
I have a son and a daughter.
Let me put it to you this way, right? If you look at it historically, should men trust women when it comes to child custody and child support throughout history? Should we trust them? Would you trust him if you sat your son down and told him which is something women don't do with their sons? They do not tell the truth about women to their sons. Remember,
most of them don't.
Hold on, before anybody say anything, I'm gonna tell you the cardinal said when you're speaking to women. Women look internally. That's just how y'all naturally think. Well, in my life, men have to look at the totality of the situation. That's just how men are, because we got to look out for you. We got to look out for the village. That's just how we work. And here's the problem. God bless you for saying you never gave your father, your children's father hell. God bless you for that. That's not the majority. Unfortunately, that's not the majority. I just told you, a friend of mine who's been a cop for years, lying, constantly trying to. He said, all I want is my daughter. We'll exchange at the police department because I don't trust you. You lied on me before. This is a cop, by the way.
Yeah.
And she constantly moves around, doesn't let her know where she's moved, or get the daughter. 2 years fighting, going to court. And you know what the courts always do? They always bullshit them.
And I agree that is the truth. There is and I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying this doesn't happen. I just wish that Black men would fight and know that they have enemies. They know that they because this is your seed.
I want to ask you a question because
hold on, BG. I'm going to explain something to you.
But she said that like 4 or 5 times, of which men will actually fight for the kids. I'm saying, why should they?
Why you got to fight? Yeah.
Why should they?
Why you
No,
gotta
they
fight?
shouldn't
You should
have
never
to.
fight.
Understand?
Thank
They
you.
shouldn't
You have to
have to.
protect them.
You should not have to fight for your
But here's the
kids.
problem. When we go through stress as men, you got to understand, there's only 3 ways men communicate. We talk it out, we yell it out, we fight it out. Okay? If we don't take care of what's stressing us, that builds up ulcers. That builds up shit that goes in our bodies and kill us earlier than we should. So when we're fighting and going through this stress, remember that. All that stress built up and just dropped dead. For fighting. Guess what? Like I told my boy Josh, all the shit you've been through for these past 3-4 years with her, if you just wrote a letter to your daughter every day or every week, email them, send it to her grandparents' house, and you do it for 18 years, I will not blame you. You know why? Because I'll be damned if you drop dead over some stress because a motherfucker wants you to fight.
But that's a fight. You don't think that's a fight? Him sending and writing them letters every single day?
That's not a fight. That's an alternative. So? Fighting is going back and forth to court, getting bullshitted, getting disappointed. That's added on stress. That's added on years taken away from my life. When all you have to do is
going to the next subject, really.
When all you
somebody brought it back up. I don't know how it got back up.
Get us back on track then.
I don't know.
Dave, what did I tell you?
You knew. Yeah. You told me.
Dave,
we
what
got
I tell
somebody
you
else here.
about this subject.
So why are you single, right? Why are you single?
Well, hold on. Before that, hey Sharon, thanks for joining us. You finally got in.
I did. I wasn't in my Facebook inbox, so I'm not like
now who is this?
Messenger that much. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I don't use Messenger a lot, so it took me a while to realize that's where you sent it.
All right, so I know it's been a lot going on, a lot been said. What's your overall take? You can jump to the second question about single or whatever, because I don't want to go back down that road again.
Yeah, let's not. Okay, so why are we single? Is that where we are?
Yeah, why are people, single? Why are they single?
Well, I put mine in the comments. I have commitment issues, and that's because, I think most women, we are in this generation having those issues because we have trust issues. We have commitment issues due to the experiences that we've had. And I think that, it's a hard pill to swallow to submit and what real submission is. And when you start thinking about that, and when you're in a relationship and you start realizing what it really takes and the part of you that you have to put aside to actually submit to a man and to let that feminine energy out, it's scary because you're always operating in your masculine energy when you're single because you're protecting yourself. So I think that's my take on why women are single.
One thing I'm glad, Sharon, I'm glad to see you on. And I know to add into this chaos, but that's what this program is all about. Creating chaos so that you gotta create chaos, and usually in chaos some truth comes out and people can take away with something. And the fact of the matter is that we've been talking about singleness, and I have shared that I have gone through having trust issues. I've shared in the past about still being hurt by certain things and having to let it go. And to BGS expertise in that area helped me. So I'm always I'm stroking his ego here, y'all. I'm stroking his ego.
If I'm being honest.
And
really,
do it again. Do it again.
You like it. And so and the thing is, I have learned to change my vetting process. I slipped up once, but I had to bounce it back because I know now what I want and what I don't want. And knowing that I don't want, even, there's a thing with me now that I know that my children are going to have children. I'm going to make sure that I do have a man in my life that can take care of me, that I can work my one part-time job, that's my real estate, and not have to worry about anything else. There's some things I now see that I did not really pay attention to before, that I was like, what? I never thought about that. And I never thought about this. And I never thought. I'm growing from having these conversations, good or bad or indifferent. And from that, now I'm like, I'm gonna chill until I find I meet that one person that can do and be that person that I desire to connect with. If that never happens, I'm okay with that. You feel what I'm saying? I'm okay with being that woman that I don't know if I'm gonna have a dog, because this tearing dog, my daughter dog is getting on my last nerve, and I don't even want to. So I'm gonna probably get a cat, or I'm gonna probably
go take his ass outside and chain him up to a pole to the end of the show.
I'm just saying, I now have
give him a bowl of water though.
I don't even want no dog. Lord help him. But I have made a decision. I'm gonna chill. And I'm gonna enjoy my singleness, because before having that mentality, I need a man in my life. I need a man. I would love to have a man. Yeah, I need a good man in my life. Yes, a good one. But someone that's not for me, I do not need. And I'm gonna wait for it. And that's where I'm at.
So are we talking single, not married, or single, not in a relationship, single, not dating?
Well, Annetta proposed this question. This was she added to. So either way, however it fits you, whatever, however you want it to fit.
Well, let her define it. Since she brought it up, let Annetta define it. How do you define single?
Annetta left.
It depends on.
Yes, yes. She was the one that
I would
left
say
the panel.
if you're not
But
married,
that is
you're
not
single.
Oh, she's not here.
Dating
Okay.
is for. Can I say this? Dating is to collect data. So, and this, my bishop taught us this at church. Dating is to collect data. So you're dating. If you don't have a ring on your finger and you are not married, you did not say I do. You are single.
Got you.
That's what the state says.
Got you.
From my perspective, being single throughout life.
Everybody else does it too.
Being single through in different times of your life stems from different things that you've been through, such as when I joined the military, I was single because I wanted to concentrate on that. After I broke up with a long-term relationship, I wanted to be single because I needed to collect myself and figure out what I like at that time period in my life. Right now, at this stage of my life, I'm single because I'm going through a midlife crisis. And I'm trying to grasp how to move into this next stage of my life. And it can be a little bit confusing, but overall right now I'm single because I want to connect back with myself. I'm trying to do things. I don't want to be distracted. I'm working on my 3rd and 4th college degree. I don't want to be distracted on not really entertaining somebody, but giving somebody a fourth of me when I think they deserve more of me. And I think that in different stages of your life, you're with somebody and then that doesn't work out. You build, like, what's your name? I'm sorry, Sharon?
Yes.
Yeah, like Sharon said, you're collecting data as far as what you do and don't want in a partner. So at 25, I may have wanted XYZ in a partner.
Yes.
35, I want ABC. So
absolutely.
all along, you're like, I call it life is like a Rubik's Cube, because you got to twist and turn and find the right combination for your individual time in your life period. And I think everybody's on their individual path. So it depends on what stage that everybody's in. Does that make sense to anybody?
Yes, it does. Absolutely.
And like at my stage in my life, I'm 45. So going into the next stage of my life, I'm having a bit of a midlife crisis and trying to accept the next chapter because now I'm middle-aged.
Right.
I'm trying to, it's uncomfortable so far because mentally I haven't accepted it because I look young and everybody tells me I'm young, but I know how old I am and I know everything I've gone through. So it's
Herb, put that damn cat
I got
down.
somebody that'll have that as a snack.
Huh?
I was talking about the cat. I said I had somebody that's
Herb bought a cat. He's gonna die alone.
Yeah, I told you before. Keep that cat off this broadcast.
Go ahead, Sharon.
Can I speak on what she was saying about like the degrees and what she wants to do and accomplish?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times I think that's why a lot of women remain single, because men don't care about that stuff. I had to learn that. They don't care about our accomplishments. They don't care about the how much money we make. Like if we are putting it out there that we want a man that's going to take care of us, but we want to be at home or do whatever and be able to do these things, that should not be your priority. And I had to learn that. I'm only 37, but I learned that throughout being engaged twice. You can't have all of these priorities of all of these accomplishments if you want that man that's going to step in and be that support system for what you want to do in life. Because if you're putting that before him, you're not going to find what you're looking for in a man, because you're going to look past all of those things and you are focused on something else. So it's hard to see all of those potentials and all of the things that you do want that is in him, because you are letting those things overtake your life. I just learned that with my last engagement.
It sounds like Kevin Samuels.
The things that you're looking for in a man is probably there. We look past them as women a lot because we are like, as Black women, we hold this, we want to be strong, and we let the world and society put that on us. Where as you see some other women you're a damsel in distress. Like, it doesn't mean that you're not strong and you're not educated, you're not smart, and you can't work and make money either. But you have to have that feminine energy to know that, okay, these things can be put to the side for now. It's not like you can't go back and accomplish them. But if you want that support, you want that man, and you want somebody to be able to, God forbid something happened to you, take care of you and put you in a grave when it's time and send you out home the right way and live and love somebody for the rest of your life. You can't have all of these accomplishments and the materialistic things at the forefront.
So you're saying these things can happen simultaneously?
Yes, you can.
Oh, okay.
It can happen simultaneously, but you have to. You can't be like, well, I'm a strong woman. I want to get this degree. I want to work this job, make these 6 figures. Like I've been there. I've done that. That was my thing. I got a degree. I made the 6 figures, but I lost what I was looking for in the way.
Because they taught you to be a man.
Right. I was focusing on those things and not what my ex-fiance had and what he was bringing to the table. So as I was elevating on my own and doing stuff, I'm like, oh, he's doing this and he's moving slow. And so that kind of separated the whole thing because I was so focused on that. Like, it was this me thing. And I think a lot of women, because we've been put in a position to be masculine, to be strong, we lost all of the other things that come along with being a woman. Especially when it comes to things that we want in a man.
But do you believe, and I just want to make sure I'm understanding you correctly, what you're saying is if you could, and I'm not saying that you would or have to go back in time. So let's just say if you were backtracked or whatever, because I'm 30, right? Mm-hmm. And my degrees are important to me. I am also dating though. I can do both. I feel like it's worked so far. Mm-hmm. It's worked so far, but I don't feel like wanting to get ahead and achieve your goals as a woman mean that you can't be someone's wife. If that person is for you and if you guys are together, why can't you progress and proceed together still while in a relationship?
Let me ask you something.
I guess it's about balance.
What do you see? You see wives getting educated after their wives, right? Because they have that support system.
I haven't seen. I can't say that.
When you're doing it as you're single, you're not married. You're not focusing on the things as a woman in a relationship. So you're putting all you're seeing
on the relationship
you have in your life. You're like, okay, well, I'm doing all of this and I got to focus on this. I got to get these grades so I can get this GPA, so I can have this acclimate, so I can get this job that I want. And all of that takes away from your attention. And it does.
I think maybe because of my age, because
I'm 37.
No, and I get that. I'm not saying that you guys are too old or anything like that. I think because on both sides, everybody is on the up and up. So everybody understands everybody's ability.
What you were taught.
But are you married?
I was married. I was married when I got my degree. I'm just interject.
That's what I'm saying. My sister has her master's degree. She has her bachelor's degree. All of that was done while she was married. While she had a child.
While she was married.
I was married.
No. She got her bachelor's degree. She was with her husband. She had a child. She went back to school, got her master's degree. He is now, it was a handoff. It's a team.
Right. But she did that while she was married?
I did.
She did the second degree while she was married. The first one while they were together. Mr. Glover can attest to this. They were together since high school. Okay. So they did a handoff. He does not have his master's degree yet. Now that
they grew together. They grew together.
Right, but they were together.
And that's what I'm asking you.
They grew together.
They were together. They were
right,
together.
And that's what I was asking and trying to clarify. Yeah. So is this something that you feel like because you're older, or do you feel like when somebody is growing and progressing together, it's a difference?
Okay, so let me put this in perspective for you. I'm 37 now. I just turned 37 in January. Right. I have a 19 and a 15-year-old. Really? Now, me and my fiance was together for 5 years. So 5 years ago, I was 32. So I was around your age, right? Mm-hmm. I was focused on my degrees. He was coming up too. I helped supported him with his YouTube channel He's a big YouTuber. He's also a well-known DJ for the local radio. So I was supporting him in a lot of those things. But what I will say is this: working, having children, being single, and trying to get my education, I lost focus on what it was that I was looking for in a man. So me and him, we accomplished things in our relationship. But at the end of the day, when it came down to it, I was like, okay, wait a minute. All of these things, is this what I really want?
Let me just interject. I was 33. I had to just calculate. I was 33 while I was married. I got married at 27. I was 33 when I got my degree, and I had children. I have 6 children in my home all at one time. And I worked a full-time job. And so it's very doable. I still was a very good wife. He says to this day, I was a wife, and I wasn't
she's
single.
Saying,
but the fact of the matter,
you weren't working to get there.
But the thing is this: any man that you be with, in my opinion, is not, because you made some statements too. You made a statement that it took away what you wanted in a man. Like it became more precedent of what you having your degree over your man. So what I'm striving to share with you on that is that it did not for me. I had
to already married though. That's my point.
But you were together in a relationship as if you were married. You were cohabitating. Were you living together? Were you living together?
Yes, we were living together.
Y'all were cohabitating. So you're living a married lifestyle. Am I correct?
No.
So as much as you want to try to say that your church said you're not married, since you're not married, you're still single, but you're living in a marriage. You're living in a marriage setup. Are you not?
I was engaged. A marriage setup is 2 people working together. We were engaged.
But y'all were living together, taking care of children.
That commitment to say,
she's saying she wasn't. I get
what you're not understanding is this. She's saying while they were living together, they were working in different boats.
Right.
They weren't working together.
Because you're focusing. So when you're married, your goals become each other's goals.
Correct.
Right. So even though you divorced your husband, at some point while you were getting your degree, you had his support. Because
I didn't. I didn't.
But who was watching those kids while you were studying for those books?
I had to pay a babysitter. I had to work, and I had to pay a babysitter to pay them too. And I took my classes online.
Okay, well,
I did it. That's why I wear Wonder Woman ring on my hand, because I did it all.
Rare situation.
I don't put that on
I can say my situation is different.
What's her name again? What's her name? Kia. Lakia. Your situation is that's that one-off. That normally, when you're in a
rare
marriage
situation,
you're supporting each other.
That's not rare.
Right?
A lot of women are doing that.
A marriage, you're supposed to support. Your marriage didn't work. You got divorced, so we can't use your.
And this is the thing. Then I had my degree. Then I opened up a business. I would still be married. I'm the one that made that choice to divorce. So men are correct. I made the choice to divorce. Then I opened up a business after that, and still worked the job, and had a business opened up. And he didn't support me in that either. But I made the choice to divorce. He was angry with me that I decided to divorce.
Okay, so this is not for women that are married. We're talking about single, right?
Right.
Single women right now, we're talking about single women and why all of those things, getting those acclimates.
Why are they single?
Climbing that corporate.
That's what you're taught. That's what you're taught.
It's not going to get you the man that you are looking for, because you're going to miss out on those things. Is what I'm telling you.
Oh, okay.
Because
I
would say this to all the women.
To be in a relationship right now, so I don't feel like if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And right now, I wouldn't dating anybody.
It would behoove all the women on the panel to read a book called The Richer Sex.
If it comes along, it's going to come along regardless. And I don't
know, because I thought the same thing, girl.
It will, honey. Keep living.
We'll get in one day. We'll get in a minute.
It does still happen. I'm 45 now, and I promise you, it will still happen.
This is what I wanted in a man, but because I was focusing on all of that stuff, I lost sight of it. So
where did you learn that? Where did you learn that?
wasn't
Where did
what
you learn that?
That I found out wasn't what I wanted.
Where did
This
you
is
learn
what I'm
that?
telling y'all.
But
Where did
so
you learn
yeah,
that?
so I get that, and I understand exactly what you're saying. I
Let me ask you a question.
Sharon,
Where did you
where
did you learn that? Where'd you learn that?
You have to hold yourself you have to hold yourself accountable, and you have to
Where
self-reflect.
did you learn that? At what point did you learn that you had to do all this? Where'd you learn?
That I had to reevaluate.
Do what? Get your career, go to school, make your $100,000, all that kind of stuff. Where'd you learn that?
When I looked at my boys and I said I want to be the example that they need to have, that they should have.
So do you learn that? You learned that after you're an adult?
Yes, as an adult.
Okay. So the school and none of that have had any kind of influence on that.
Influence on what? I'm sorry.
On actually this kind of get the bag, get your career, and all that kind of stuff. It had no influence on it.
No, school had an influence on me showing my children that no matter what you go through and no matter what mistakes you make, you can still be something and you can accomplish things in life. That was my focus.
In other words, he was trying to say, where you taught this from being a little girl.
No, my mother didn't teach it. She taught us just to work and make sure you pay your bills. We weren't taught. Me and my brother wasn't taught about education and stuff like that. The most important thing was get a job, pay your bills.
Pay your bills, but we weren't taught to get a man, get married, and all that kind of stuff.
My mom was married. She was married.
I'm saying, did she impress that upon you growing up?
She impressed upon me marriage. She impressed upon me being a lady and carrying myself. She didn't say you need a man, but she did show me what it was to be submissive to a man. And she was married. She was married to an abusive man, and got a divorce. But she did teach me that you need to get a job, you need to work, and you need to take care of your bills and yourself.
That's what I'm hearing.
So here's the problem with a lot of women out there, right? Different races of women go to school to get the best possible man they could get.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of black women go to college and try to graduate.
That's true.
To show that they don't need one.
Even female dating coaches say the exact same thing.
I can't speak to that because I went to college and graduated and did what I was supposed to do to be an example to my children. I didn't do it to show that I didn't need a man.
What he was saying is different races. Like, I know in my field, I work with nurses. That's my field. These ladies, they've sent them. No, I'm talking about just your typical upper middle class or regular middle class white women. They did not go to the college of their choice. They went to D1 colleges. They went to pilot school. They went to the schools that had med people that were going
network and meet men.
So when you hear their stories, their parents pimped them out. They took that L. I put my daughter in 4 years of college. Maybe we have loans, maybe we don't, and now she's just a cheerleader. And that's because I wanted to put her in a position to find her husband. So that is very right. Different races, they send their children to school for a reason.
That's how they do it.
It's not for education.
I'm aware of that. Yeah. I know a lot of
they go with the intent of finding a husband. That's cool.
And see, here's a bigger problem.
They get divorced too.
When a woman tells me she's strong and independent,
but they did get married.
We get married too. And y'all said
that's the goal.
Here's the problem,
we get
right?
married too.
Here's a big problem.
That strong, independent woman has been placed on black women by society. And the problem is they keep saying that we're strong, so they keep throwing that thing at us, that you're strong, you can take this, you can take that, you can take that.
They are true.
And we keep doing it.
Throw it back. Throw it back.
Well, you guys say that we're strong too, because we're strong enough to keep our legs closed so that they don't have to pay child support.
We're not gonna go
why
back
you
to
keep
that
talking
one.
about the legs?
Was that Charles trying to say
because
hit dogs holler. Hit dogs holler.
Charles was trying to make a point to what we just said.
Conversation with you guys.
She can't keep going back to the same rock.
A lot of women.
No, we didn't say that.
No,
we didn't say
that. Talk the same language they talk.
Charles was trying to make a point.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, hold on. We got too many people.
Charles was trying to make a point to what we just said.
I'm just going to say this.
Young lady's point that being single
I'd rather have my ego stroke though.
and obtaining all those acclimates you're not focused on what you want in a man for real.
Let me break this down. When a woman tells me she's strong and independent, I want you to realize something. Something that's my equal in strength, and God knows if you've seen my videos, I'm not a weak dude. I don't need to protect you. I don't need to provide for you.
Right.
So
women are walking up to you.
Hold on, y'all. Good grief.
Let me finish.
So
let me finish. So in other words, right? A lot of women with this strong independent bullshit.
You're saying are walking up to you saying they're strong and independent?
Let me finish.
They've been taught that.
Let them finish the point and then answer.
When women say that is a major turnoff for men. That is a major turnoff for men. You're telling me that you're a dude. Do you want me to tell you how much I could put up the drapes and how much I could sew when I meet you? Do you want me to say that? Do you want me to show you how much I could wash dishes and all this other shit? No, because ultimately your biology says, I want to know if this nigga can protect me. You really don't even give a fuck if I can make money. You want to know if bare bones, if we got to go through some shit like what happened years ago in Louisiana, is this nigga going to put me on his back and carry me through all them fucking waters?
Language, Charles. Charles, language. Language, Charles.
That was my question, and that's why I didn't want to interrupt your point. I just wanted you to elaborate. When you're meeting women, you're saying that they're coming to you and say, "Oh yeah, I'm a strong, independent woman, and I don't need a man." That's the attitude that you're faced with.
Yes.
Yes. I've been hearing time and time again that women have been saying that. But let me say this to you guys. You know, one thing else I noticed that I've experienced, and I don't know if anybody else have noticed this. The generation of women that did do exactly what you're saying depended on their husbands wholeheartedly. And guess what happened? The men passed away, and the women didn't know how to do nothing else but what they were doing.
But they lived off of their husband's social security and insurance.
Let me finish, please. Let me finish. So when that happened, they were lost. They didn't know what to do. They didn't even know how to pay their bills. They didn't know how to survive. They were lost. So now, when that happens, what do you expect? How do you expect these women now? How are you men are protecting and preparing these women? God forbid if you leave first.
You know what? I'm gonna say this real quick. Hold up. I'm gonna answer you.
No, let him answer. Let him answer.
Hold up. I'm gonna
answer. You don't answer one question at a time. You can't jump on them all at once. All right.
I'm gonna answer that for you.
Please.
See, a lot of times men died early for their women and their families.
But you want to do the job, nigga.
No, here we go.
He's making a wonderful point right now. The point he's gonna
single, right?
Very good point.
But yet, you're still single. So guess what? You may not like
because you want the job to be the protector, but we're dying.
No. That's not what he's saying.
Here we go. Stay single.
Stay single.
We got about 9 minutes, and we gonna wrap this up.
Stay single. It's not
That's not what he said.
But here's
That's
the
not
point.
what he's saying.
Men work a lot of jobs that took years off your life.
Exactly.
If you're talking about your
No,
grandparents.
that's not what he's saying.
No, what is he not saying?
Men today, even in today's society.
One time. They can't hear you if you're talking over each other. We can't hear you. You're talking over each other. You're talking over each other. We can't hear you.
Yeah, come on.
In other words, men throughout history, even in today's time, still work the most dangerous jobs.
Right.
88% of your military is still men. 88% of your police officers are men. In firefighters and EMTs and paramedics, 93. Construction, 98. Hell, even 75% of your chefs are men.
Okay.
We still work the more dangerous jobs. That's why a lot of that wage gap is bullshit. All of it, really.
Sir, language.
So I'm sorry, but here's the point that I'm getting at. A lot of times these men died, and they put different things in order in case something happened to them. And a lot of these women lived off of his either Social Security, his insurance, or whatever he had in place. Yep. So that's a fallacy because a lot of homes even in the Black community that we praise Big Mama's house for, it was Granddaddy who bought it.
Exactly. Yep.
It was not a lot of.
I hear what they're saying about that, but I think more so today, a woman has to be set up for herself, not to financially rely on that man.
But that's the point that he's making. That would only be a single woman. The point that he's making is if you're married and if you
did y'all hear what he said?
Yes, I heard exactly what he said.
So this is what my thing is. You men are saying to us women, you want to be the protector, but guess what? That also means you have the harder jobs, and a lot of those jobs, that fire. You're still doing those same jobs, and do you not also don't see all these GoFundMe's because people don't have insurance? That ain't no more.
Ain't no firefighter out here that don't got no
talking about today.
Then you're gonna get what you've been getting.
That's not even
you're gonna get what you've been getting.
I'm gonna say
that's not even the same situation.
You're gonna get what you've been getting.
I'm gonna say my rebuttal peacefully to her because
it is
number
not the
one,
same situation.
Why not? You're
talking about single family households, which is really what you have with GoFundMe pages. You have a single family, a mother with children, and they're doing it for them.
You gotta realize
what happened.
I'm saying it about what
did he cut out?
Men being a protector.
I don't know what happened.
Okay, let her make her point. She's been trying to make her point for the last 2 minutes.
So go ahead.
I'm talking about women being.
No, not you. She's been trying to make a point for 10 minutes.
Sharon.
All that snow that we got that was piled up, I was stuck in my driveway. I'm single. Would you rather have shoveled all that snow like I did in the freezing cold, like I had to, because I don't have no man, or have your husband or your man do it?
I have boys, and my boys did it, and I pay people. That's why I got.
Your boys are not your husband. Right?
But they're my sons that I teach to be men. You didn't bring but I have to
you
teach
can't
them to
teach
be
your boy to be a man.
Stacy, hold on, Charles.
No, you cannot.
Charles, hold on.
This is how far off we are. This is how far off we are.
Yeah, that's why it's not gonna. That's why it's gonna implode.
Yeah, you might as well give up.
So because I'm a woman, I shouldn't tell my
I've given up already.
Wait, time out. Can we finish making the point?
I have 2 children, 2 boys.
And it's not their job to free you from the driveway.
They shovel snow. They put salt down. They know how to do it.
But it's not their
I did
job.
not give birth to my children. This is a problem in the Black community.
Exactly.
Really?
Y'all boys are not our men or our husbands.
And they are not meant to be our.
Their dad does the same thing.
You can teach them how to
treat them like they are.
Yeah, but you can teach them to be a man.
Let's have this conversation.
Hold on, y'all. You know what? Go.
Shoveling
go.
His yard.
What you just said. Go back and read. Hold on a second. Listen to me for a second, right? Trying to make a point. Go back and read E. Franklin Frazier's Negro Family United States, right? That pattern that you just said about your boys doing it and your boys being hold on. Can I please make the point?
Please do.
In other words, that pattern has been established from slavery that we have never gotten rid of. That pattern is called a gynoprotestal network, right?
And
using your boys.
I'm not supposed to teach my daughters to cook. No.
In other words, using your boys, like in a patriarchal setting.
God, let them please finish. Like,
can I finish what I was saying, please?
Go ahead.
Listen to.
Don't call on him now.
I think we're all making the same point.
I'm trying to say where it came from.
My point
you're muted. You're muted. Sharon, you're muted.
No matter what point of life stage I'm in, I appreciate a good man. And I can adapt and change and compromise. No, I don't want to shovel the snow.
We still can't hear you.
I don't want to do the yard work, so I appreciate a good man.
We can't hear you, Sharon. I think your name is Sharon. We can't hear you.
I just think the point that he's trying to make, and the point that is trying to be made, is that as Black women, a lot of the time when we have sons in the household and they're absent of a man, we try to teach them how to be a man. And once we teach them that thing, we make them do those things. Shoveling the snow is not your son's job. Putting in a light bulb is not your son's job. And that's the point that is being made. Should he know how to? Yes, my 11-year-old, he can sit on the floor with me and put a desk together. Yes, his father teaches him stuff too. He can go with me to take the trash. There's not a time that my son is in this household and I take out the trash and he's not taking it out with me. But he's 11 and he's a puny little boy. I'm not going to make that boy go to the dumpster by himself. He's not the man of this household.
When he turned 15,
he's not the man of this house, but he is
when he turned 15, 16,
no, he's not the man.
You're not going to have him take that. You don't think it's a responsibility for a son to take care? I mean, I'm not saying that's just a man's job.
This is chore. I get what you're saying in the sense of chores.
You give them chores, and that's how they learn how to be responsible.
Here's the problem, right? Here's the biggest problem right here, right?
Charles.
Here's the biggest problem right here.
Charles.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hold
on.
Can we hear Charles?
Let me finish my point. Let me finish
my point. I'll go after you.
Let's share and finish your point.
I'm gonna say hold on. Now this is emotion because how dare y'all tell me that I'm not supposed to teach my son to be out there and shovel when I tell you I'm sorry. Y'all really need to recheck that. I'm sorry. Y'all need to recheck that. Willie over here trying to say they ain't supposed to be your husband.
Listen.
Can Sharon finish making her point, please?
Listen to.
We're trying to hear Sharon.
No,
we're trying to hear Sharon.
Listen to. Hello.
Go ahead,
listen
Sharon.
to understand and not respond for a minute, okay? My son is 19. He lives in Florida. He's in college right now. Okay. My youngest is 15. He's a sophomore in high school. They're focused on their academics. They're both honor students. My son got full scholarships. Right.
Yes.
So you want to know how I was able to get them to be as educated and focus on work and school and all of those things? Because I didn't put that pressure on them to be my man. Exactly. My son is in Florida. He can't shovel my snow right now. So imagine if I would have depended on him to do all of that. Yes, I taught him and gave him the tools to operate in society. And to also, he knows how to shovel snow if it comes along. He knows how to put salt down. He knows how to open up the doors. He knows about taking out the trash. But the reason why I was out there shoveling, because my 15-year-old, he's in the scholars program. He has things to focus on. Right?
I got Trump on you, Sharon. I'm sorry, boo. I got Trump on you. I got 6 kids. My oldest is 29. He's in the Air Force, honey. Graduated from an HBCU college with cum laude. Daughter at 22 that's graduating in May and all
now
for
we're
law.
going back and forth.
I'm going to let this finish, please. Daughter 18. I've taught all the 3 kids in high school. One in middle, 2 in high school, 1 in middle school. Let me share something with you here, honey. I ain't never teaching my boys to be my husband, but I'm sure going to teach them how to have chores. And I'm sure going to tell them and not let them lay around this house and not do what they need to do. Now, do they always do perfect? No, their bedrooms are horrible. Just real talk. But because my kids are good kids and because they do what they're supposed to do as for humane society, I don't put all pressures on them. Do I take my garbage out? Yes, I do. I take my own garbage out because they don't with me. They're not with me every week. So the weeks that my kids are not here, I have to do my own garbage. I have to shovel my own snow. So what you're saying, you have to give my kids chores. And with the chores that I'm giving my kids, that's teaching them how to be responsible. So I don't care what y'all trying to sit here and tell. I'm gonna always.
But you're not listening because I give my children all those chores. I gave them chores.
See, there's the difference between chores. There's a difference between chores and
obligations. That's what I did was chores. Where does
chores and obligations are 2 different things?
Because here's the problem. Here's one of the biggest problems in the Black community.
Hogwash.
We keep on trying to say that women see a mother can teach a boy to be a good person, but she can't teach him to be a man. Because the world looks at you totally different than your world looks at your son.
Right. Absolutely.
Because first and foremost, when there's a difference between chores than being obligated, and a lot of women out there in our community, unfortunately, make their sons have husband-like obligations.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's even a story when his son got scholarships to 5 different colleges. You know what the mother did? She whined and said, "Oh, I'm gonna be so
You're
alone.
gonna leave me.
You're gonna leave." And you know what happened to that boy? He got into some sugar honey iced tea. Since we have language, got into some sugar honey iced tea, and has a record. And too many times in our community we say, "Oh, I'm this and I'm that." No, be the parent and teach that. Make sure that person has fathers and father figures, because you can have a father and multiple father figures, to tell them the truth about masculinity, manhood, and life.
Yes, amen. Because what I put my son in breaking barriers, where there are men, mentors, teaching them about men things. So I know the difference, and I'm not saying that I don't give them chores. They have chores, they have responsibility. I even pay them for chores to teach them what it means to work and to do and to get money for them.
Absolutely.
But they also have men in their lives that are mentors. He's part of the Breaking Barriers program. They have men that are mentoring them and teaching them about how to be men. So I'm not saying that the reason why my son wasn't out there shoveling, because he's in his studies right now. Man. So I had to do it. I'm not going to say stop your schoolwork and be obligated to be my man because I want to be single and shovel up me out the snow.
Who would do that though? Who would do that? I don't do that. I ain't never did that.
I'm not saying you do that.
You'd be surprised who would.
That's what it came.
You attacked me and said, "Well, you don't teach your son to do chores." But
I would be ecstatic if my children grew up like me.
We don't listen. We don't listen. We want to respond before we hear the other person. You even did that to me. So this is an issue, and this is a lot of reasons why we are single.
No. Sweetie, no, when you made that comment that I'm trying to make my sons to be my husband,
but you took it personally.
That just went out the window. That went out the window, Sharon. I've been watching your comments too. Your comments are a little bit different. This ain't new. This ain't what you've been saying. I've been seeing in the comments.
What is it like?
As what your character is and how you feel things are. You watching Kevin Samuels? I get it.
You don't have to have that type of attitude.
The one thing I'm
a
supporter of women.
Don't assume. But wait, let's not an argument.
It's not an argument, but don't ever try.
Everything ain't about back and forth, man.
Because I had my son shoveling my snow, that I was teaching him to be my husband.
No. That's not what we're saying, Lakita. I think that we got lost in the mix. What we're saying is
that just like there's some things that you said you didn't say, but please watch the show again.
What we felt.
I'm talking to Will.
No, listen.
Okay, so Lakia, what we understood from you is that as you have sons, your sons are going to have obligations as males around your household. And that's what we understood it as.
Yeah.
And that's why we said what we said. They shouldn't have to do anything because they are not that man of the household, or they're not your man.
So
my son, now every time my son is with his dad, hear me out. Every time my son is with his dad, he has the opportunity to pump gas. He is 11 years old. If I pull up to the gas station, which is really rare because my boyfriend does it, but if on a really rare occasion that I go to Maryland with my children and I come back and I pump gas, my son be like unbuckling his, and I'm like, boy, get back in the car. It's 10 o'clock at night. Get back in the car. I got this. You don't have to, and it's not that he doesn't know these things. It's not that he doesn't know that, quote unquote, the man or the male is the one that pump gas. His father taught him that. However, you are not my man. You are my child. So as my child, sit your ass back in the car. I pump the gas. When we're home, the garbage is taken out by me. Now, are you going to go with me to the garbage to get used to this task and know how to do this? Yes. Now, if I get on a step stool and I have to unscrew a light bulb and I have to, or the fixture to put the light bulb in, if he asks me to do it, I'm going to let him do it. However, I'm not going to stop him from playing his PlayStation, get him on FaceTime, stop him from reading a book to do those things.
May I ask you a question though?
You're gonna take that garbage out.
What I said was, if I have a light bulb to fix, if I have something in my house to fix, my son has already knows how to do that. He knows how to change a light bulb. And let's just say it's Saturday night, because that's the only time he really FaceTimes or plays on a game anyway. I'm not going to stop that to say, oh, you have to change this light bulb. No, I can change the light bulb myself. He's not obligated to do certain things within the household outside of his chores. As long as I'm teaching him these things and his father is teaching him these things, he doesn't have to be
So
the
it sounds like you said. It sounds like you said. It sounds like you said you still letting him be a kid at the same time. You still learning and growing.
I just want to say a dirty little secret real quick, and I'm gonna give you the floor.
Men have
Here's a dirty little secret about little boys. Here's a dirty little secret about little boys. Eventually, every little boy has to outgrow his mother and equal his father. And as a father, you want your son to surpass you. That's how you know your job is done. So a lot of times in our community, we have a bet. You can put the finger down. We see you. You're gonna be next. But here's the problem.
I'm doing it on purpose because he said
You're gonna
something
see
about
it. We know the bathroom's down the hall. Take a left. But your son is supposed to outgrow you because he has to take a wife of his own.
Exactly.
And what we do in the Black community is rob our sons of what a wife should be and what we should pick. Because a lot of our mothers meddle in our business. Instead of being a guy, they become a dictator. And what happens is, yes, should your sons have chores at a certain age? Yes, some chores.
Oh, they dropped
Let me just real quick,
got
ladies.
cut off.
No, and listen. No disrespect, but I that kind of it did touch me a little wrong way. And if I misunderstood you the first time, I my apologies. I'm grown enough woman. My apologies. No disrespect, but this is what I will say. Where my son, thank you. My son just got married. Okay, 30, about to be 30 years old, just got married. Proposed, made an executive decision as a grown man and got married. The reason why I'm sharing this is that what he just said about women, I grew up in that era and I love my mom, but my mom was a very controlling woman. And I've always said I didn't want to be that woman. I didn't want to be that kind of mother. So I call my son a grown man because he's a grown man. I don't get in his business because that I did my job. Now he has to move on and do his job. I did what I was supposed to do, and now he's the fruit. I'm seeing fruits of my labor. I see my daughter. She's 22. I don't get in their business. I'm not that kind of mother. I cut my purse strings. I cut those strings because I did my job. Now I got to let you go and do what I taught you all that I know. And if you need me, I'm here, not going nowhere. It is my responsibility as a mother to train my children. They say train your children the way that they should go, and they shall, and it will not. The word will not depart from them. I did my job, and I'm still doing my job. That's why my family are blessed. So then, thirdly, what do you not agree when you hear women say they date their sons so they can teach their sons how to treat a woman? We don't think that's value. There's any value in that?
Can I interject?
So in saying that, so if I take my son out on the, if I have my son take me out on the date because I want to show him how to treat a woman, should I not let him then pump the gas, or should I not let him pay for the meal because I'm teaching him how to date a woman, like just as being a gentleman? Is that wrong to do as a mother?
Can I interject?
No, those are teachable moments. I think those are teachable moments.
Hold on, let Sharon speak because I'm interested in what you think on this.
Hello, can I say this? This is irrelevant. This all came from when I said that I went out and shoveled. You was like, "Oh, you didn't make your son do the chore," and I was trying to explain why I didn't make him do the chore, and then you took it personal and went off to a whole different subject.
I did, and I apologize. Well,
no. So that's where the disconnect is. One thing we can't take this personal. I'm talking about the reason why I was out there shoveling. You was like, well, I make my son do this. You took it to it's about you. It's not about you. I was giving the example of why being single and the difference between having a man and not having a man, being submissive, the reason why we need a man. I was trying to make that point. Okay. So when you start going off the rails like that, you have to understand it goes down a whole nother rabbit hole that we don't need to go down. Because we didn't need to get on this topic. But you took it personally because I said I didn't have my son do that. I was out shoveling, and you questioned me about that. And I was trying to explain to you.
I didn't question you about the shoveling. You made a comment that said, "Well, I'm not. You should because you were out there having you said something about my kid. When I said my kids were shoveling,
no,
you made the comment about treating him as if he's my husband." And that is why we went down the rabbit hole.
Let's be clear. Let's be clear. This our response to
that. We really got to wrap this up, man. I
don't want Lakia to feel offended or be offended.
I apologize. I felt like y'all was offended. I'm the one that apologized.
No, I just don't want you to feel offended because we took a certain take.
No, I'm not.
Parenting does not come with a book, a manual, or anything. We are doing certain things because we were taught or we learned that way.
This is about being single.
Yeah.
Absolutely, but we went off. We went off and we went sideways. But I don't want you to feel like you have to defend yourself as a parent. Because nobody is saying that was wrong or this is how you did that. What we were just explaining is putting those things into play seems to us as making your kids that man of the household. And that is one of the things that is wrong with us in society today. But that is not saying that you are doing wrong. That we can't say that. It doesn't come with a book or a manual. What we are doing, who's to say it's right? That's just our idea of it and how we see it. And this is how you see it. And we can all learn from each other, but we don't have to be offended or offend each other.
Right. And that's why I said, and I totally agree. I just did, like I said, when that point when I made that statement, and then the statement came that I would treat my kids like they're my husband.
But that's
I'm not supposed to give them chores.
You cut in thinking that it was about you, and it wasn't about you.
So okay, it wasn't about me, but you said it right after I said it, so it seemed like it was coming
I was out there shoveling. You made the comment of why your sons wasn't out there doing it. That was unnecessary. That was unnecessary. So
no, it was unnecessary for you to make the comment that I was treating my kids like they're my husband, and I was teaching. I was giving them chores, and then really go ahead and sit down here and talk about. That's right. They shouldn't be out there. Can we close argument? You weren't the only one I was addressing. I was addressing others. I was addressing others.
We ain't gonna go nowhere.
It's been a lot, and that's the thing I always say that there's gonna be a lot of back and forth, going here, going there. People gonna feel uncomfortable with stuff said. This is what it is. Hold
on, can I interrupt for a minute?
No,
we didn't hear why Herb is single.
No.
Herb ain't minding his damn business.
No.
I'm single because I have commitment issues.
Thank you.
Period. Mama, let's perspective.
Now she know Herb go roast her.
I have commitment issues. I know it. I have daddy issues. I'm single.
Well, I can answer that question in one fell swoop. I have a wife, a mistress, and a girlfriend.
Damn.
And a woman that likes to come over and eat your pizza.
Man, Herb.
Any more questions?
You the man, Herb.
Je suis Leon.
Man, Herb.
All right, so we're gonna get ready to close it out. And I know people probably watching saying it's total chaos, but the shit is real. The shit is real. The conversations and all that stuff, people take feel a certain kind of way over something that's said. So, I mean, I guess I feel like
I'm wide awake now. Y'all done made me drink a glass of tequila, and now I'm up.
Yes, tequila.
Let's have the extended party.
We've been having an extended party.
No, I'm talking to the females. Okay.
Oh, I would love to set up a thing, and y'all just on here, and we just sit back.
No, the females can set it up ourselves. We don't need to.
Just be quiet. Just be quiet.
Set it up there on your account there.
We can set up
a Facebook chat. Your perspective, and I love how you are strong and you go at it. It's great. I just want to tell you, it's not personal.
No, I'm not, dear. I'm a strong black woman, and I'm an independent woman, and I'm gonna be that till the day I die.
Girl, I'm tired.
If I'm dying, I'm dying with all I live.
I'm tired of being strong. I want somebody to shovel my snow.
The message they were trying to say that independent, strong men ain't trying to hear that.
All day. All day.
I will
so
and I will
Lakia, when you meet, wait. So Lakia, when you meet a man, you go into the conversation like I'm a strong, independent black woman.
Not at all. They all know that. I'm a
strong.
I really am.
It's a whole nother
and they
topic.
know it. That's why they all
She goes in there Hulk smash.
But my thing is this. I'm a very cool person. I'm a really down to earth person. I used to have some fun, like some mental issues when it came to trust.
About that, sir, because you know what? Summer Walker made that song, Girls Need Love Too. How come we can't want to do those things either? And y'all scrutinize us and talk about us all the time.
For what?
Like she was saying, she made a point, you place blame on us, but we have the same sexual desires as men do, but y'all want to say, well, women we do control the sex. Yes, we do control. We can tell you to put a condom
Get a toy.
You could carry the same type of
gas-powered
knowledge too.
vibrator.
Put the condom on. Ask about birth control too.
Get
it's
a toy.
okay for us to want to do it just like y'all do, but y'all
talk about that. We said about men should have birth control too.
So how many women want to screw virgins?
What?
How many women?
Such a good point. Oh my God.
How many women want to screw virgins?
He shut us up. Nobody.
I would love to. I would love to.
I'm gonna teach you all he needs to know.
That's true.
Right
That's
there.
right.
So guess what sex is more?
Guess what? I'm a
Guess
leader.
what sex is more predicated on? Is sex more predicated on men to perform or women?
I teach mine how to handle.
I would say both. I would definitely say both.
Be whack and I can't be whack.
It's more predicated on the man. Y'all can literally yes, it is, because y'all can literally search
more for the men.
I can handle. I teach him how to handle me.
So, do you really want to know how? I might start up a panel on my channel, and I'm gonna tell you the secrets women really act like they don't know. And I invite anybody over there who wants to
I don't
listen.
act like I don't know.
Because guess what? If you really want to be like a man and know what men attracts men,
to act like you don't know.
I know
tell a man
men are
that you got over 100 bodies and see where he placed you in a category.
It don't matter about that. What y'all don't realize is some of that shit that y'all be talking, we don't care. We just be wanting to have sex too. You attractive. You
see. Here's the secret. Here's the secret. We don't care about all that other shit. We just want them there.
Give me the sex, and if you good, I'm coming back. So I'm the millennial that's going here to tell y'all. Y'all be thinking all of mine.
We don't care while women are there. We just want them there.
Don't nobody care about that shit.
But by hook or by crook. You know, we're like Motel.
All right, let's go.
Arguments. I need to take my trash out.
Let's go. We could be here all night.
What?
You should have had Melvin come through. Melvin should have pulled up.
Something that we
Curb.
know how to do.
I need my trash taken out to the curb.
Right. And if we give up the beat, I don't care if I got 100 bodies or 10 bodies. We're gonna take my garbage out.
Come scoop herb up.
You
think so?
Not if you got 100 bodies. You gotta ask all the other 99 people.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't.
You know what's so funny? You know what's so funny to me?
Listen, these Instagram chicks that's be on there, be having all them bodies. Them niggas taking trash out and buying Birkin bags. So stop playing.
And they also they like BITCHs. Men like BITCHs. Y'all like to be controlled. Y'all can stop telling lies. That you don't like independent women. Stop telling lies. You don't like women that are go-getters.
See, I'm gonna tell you.
Every time I meet a man, all they do
all right.
They love
you. Box me for the talking point next week.
Y'all know y'all like cut it out.
I'm confused. Does a man like a woman to does a man like a woman to depend on them or be independent? Because I'm so confused right now. I had some good black men in my life.
We ain't going to have closing points. I'm just going to end up saying.
We have closing arguments. I got to get up in the morning.
Who is that? Jada Waiter and the City Girls? They getting their garbage taken out. They're not taking out garbage. They got.
But can I just make a point? And this is going to be my closing. This point is going to be my closing point. And I promise.
Your closing?
Yes, this is my closing. From the time that I was 18 to the time that I was 26, I was with my kid's father. In between 27 and 29, I was completely single. I met men. I dated men. I didn't fuck these men. And I promise you, I have gotten more from men that I have not slept with. And when I'm talking about trash and and tires and all of that bullshit more than with men that I haven't slept with. So I don't believe in that. 100 bodies or 10 bodies, it's all the same. No, because them niggas still working. They're working. When they work for it, when they're working for it, they got a lot.
Okay, so let's put that in perspective. Look at Jada Pinkett. She's fine. She's married to a rich man, Will Smith. He's still married to her. He ain't divorced her, and she cheated on him. She got bodies on her.
Well, guess what? That's because they have a brand, but don't think that. But who? But here's
that's not for the commitment.
We can't compare ourselves to them.
There's a lot of underlying circumstances behind that.
We cannot compare ourselves to them.
Jada Pinkett hit the wall years ago.
Shit, and I ain't do nothing with them either. I had them do stuff for me too.
Dave, I gotta go.
The bodies is about marriage. It ain't
the
got nothing to do with what they're gonna do.
And this is why women are single because they don't listen. Sharon. Good night, everybody.
All right.
Okay,
Since it ain't no closing comments.
They don't listen to me. Good night.
Y'all gotta say that for next week.
Others as you would have them do unto you.
Good night.
All right, y'all be blessed. Good night. Wow show.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Wait, I didn't say my closing comment.
Say it in your prayers. Say it in your prayers.
I don't need a man. I need a man. A good one.